Welcome to the Road to the NHC, the weekly show that's your ticket to the 2025 National Horse Players Championship in Las Vegas, Nevada. Each week, we're going to dive into the world of online tournament play, and we're going to show you how to go through the feeders, play through the qualifiers, and hopefully you'll end up in Vegas like a lot of the EquinEdge users are doing right now. We've had like 3 or 4 that have made it to the NHC in 2025 in March. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to learn, then we're about to show you how to do that. Of course, my partner, as usual, is 2022 NHC champ, David Harrison. David, we missed you last week. I know you were in Saratoga. You had a good time with a bunch of great and talented handicappers.
Yeah. Hello, Scotty. What's up? Hello, everybody. TGIFF. And yes, I had the pleasure of going to one of my favorite weekends, always Jim Dandy weekend. And I would say that meeting a couple of gentlemen for the first time, Brad Anderson and Howard Kravitz, what a pleasure. I've met Matt before at the NHC. We had a 10-minute conversation last year. And it was just great. And swapping some handicapping thoughts on the races. And fortunately, I was alive in a double going into the Vanderbilt, and no one there liked my horse, who happened to win. I can't even remember the name because I was so excited. I hit a nice double. So And so we had a couple laughs, we had a couple cocktails, but great meeting those people. And I got Matt armed me with a copy of Better Way of Thinking, and it's so far I'm really, really enjoying it, and about halfway done. And so now I'm back to help everybody. Hopefully we get more people to the NHC, and we're all saying Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Monmouth Park, as Dave is saying, is canceled their day today because of extreme heat. Now, in the qualifier today, there are 3 races that were scheduled on that. So what Horse Players has done is it's still going to go. You're just not going to have those particular races. So essentially, there's going to be, it looks like 7 races is what they're going to do. So
that pick winners. Let me give you some advice, right? And it looked a little chalky to me, especially at Gulfstream, but now it may change with I think some of those races where I like Joker and Monmouth. But it's likely for 7 races. Yeah, 7 races. I would just advise to pick winners.
Yeah, we've got, as you can see here, this is the feeder. So essentially for $18, if you're able to qualify, and I think getting depending on the amount of people, but usually 30 to 45 people will qualify. We'll get into the qualifier, and we're going to help you do that. So we're going to go over races 1 through 3 at Gulfstream Park and races 1 through 3 at Saratoga. And so it's going to be, and that'll save you a $75 entry into the qualifier. So we'll go over each of these races with you tonight and or today, and hopefully we can qualify. So let's start it off. We're going to go to Gulfstream Park, race number 1. Oh, by the way, a horse that I own a little bit of percentage in, actually 5% of, and I picked out at a sale, is Macanja. And you can see she's dominating in the speed. Look at this. There's only 4 other horses in the race. There's 5 total horses. Hopefully she can carry this speed, 9.5 furlongs. She's a very, very nice horse, lightly raced. Anyways, look at that. So we're hoping she can beat Cinderella's Dream, who looks like a very nice horse. The system has her as the EquinEdge long shot. She's got to look. She's going to have to beat Cinderella's Dream. Of course, it's a $400,000 race, and it's the Saratoga Oaks Invitational. So she was invited, and Charles Appleby has what's going to be the big favorite, Cinderella's Dream. So we'll see what happens. But those 2 scratches are huge, Mike. It's just gigantic. You'll see here on the right, there is a bug. The guys are fixing it right now. So you'll see me refresh the screen a little bit. They should have that fixed anytime shortly.
And just remember, Scotty, Saratoga, graveyard of favorites. So
it sure is. It sure is. But let's go to Gulfstream Park, race number 1. Start off with the feeder. Guys, I'm just going to let you guys know ahead of time. Just praying we're okay today. But I'm working on the internet. We're trying to get some. And right now it seems to be good and stable. there's a chance, like, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we had to stop the show, unfortunately, because of the internet. So hopefully that won't happen to us. And I'm praying. So just prepping you just in case. But okay, race number 1, Gulfstream Park. And let's run this race, David. And I know you handicap this.
If you want to call my pandering and wavering, it blank stare into the screen handicapping, then because I did struggle a little bit with this race, in all honesty.
Yeah,
so we can talk it through. I got a couple contenders.
So in the stretch, you know, initially it had the 12 horse getting the lead, but the 12 backs up. There's the 4 horse who's 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. And that's what we're looking at right there. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at each of these horses. So Elizabeth Douglas had this horse last time out, was claimed by Jennifer Young. She's 10% with first time out claims. And I don't know about you. I don't really see anything with this horse. Got a 3rd place finish against, but it's burned a lot of money as the favorite as well. It goes to show you how wide open this is, though. Real quickly, David, it goes to show you how wide open this race is, considering that this horse is the EquinEdge second pick.
Correct, and that's what forced me to look at this horse. And I have interest. It's one of my contenders, and I probably will settle on this horse only because if you look at these, again, this horse has burned money, but it is a maiden 16 claimer. So this horse was dropped in for a 16K tag that last race, July 20th. That is the lowest this horse has been, right?
Yeah.
And that now got claimed by Jennifer Young. And this horse had a trouble line in tight. And so there was some kind of trouble there. And the race prior to that on the synthetic, this horse did have another trouble line. The thing I'm concerned about is that this horse now is at the level that they tend to drop it down to. Should be competitive here, but will the rail post lead to another bad, trouble line here? So that's the only concern I had with this horse. But at this point, I think I'm leaning to making this horse my number 1 pick. Well, we'll talk it through.
Well, the rail's at 66 feet, so you better have some speed. I mean, that is way out.
Yeah, this horse should have some positional speed. So the trouble lines always concern me when the horse draws the rail now. So we'll see. We'll talk it through. There's a couple of other horses I think I have a shot here with.
Well, look, let's look at what's going to be most likely your favorite, and that's the 4 horse. So Sanchez took over this horse, 11% first time out, and second time out is 18%. So usually his horses improve. Jaramillo decides to ride again. And I mean, the horse broke from the 11 hole and ran a really good race. Bumped early, was wide, and ended up settling for second. This 3-year-old colt seems to have a strong look. 4 second place finishes in 8 tries.
Right. This horse I will not use, Scotty. I'll tell you why. And it's just a bugaboo of mine, a pet peeve. I won't use horses that have failed as favorites or prohibitive favorites. So this horse failed both times as the 9-5 favorite 2-back in a 6-horse field, and then a 4-5 favorite the last time 16, but did have an outside post and had a trouble line. So, okay, you want to excuse that one, but when you burn money twice as a favorite, I'm done. So, especially in maiden 16 claimers, especially 5-2 morning line. So, I'm going to toss that horse.
I can't use this horse at all for one reason only. These are just such. I know the all of them are low, but the GSRs are just too low to believe. I can't. Especially on the turf, where the GSRs are even the most accurate, especially 2 turns. I can't use a horse that's got a 41 GSR. I just can't. For me, when I look at this, it's all around the 1, 2, and 11. And because, look, you can see the GSRs are 53, 58, 64, and there's some of the highest win percentages as well, and also some of the lowest on the morning line. So for me, it's like right here. And Mike likes the 112. Yeah. I mean, it's right. It's got to be in here. What about this Promotion? I mean, this one, 10 tries with 2 second-place finishes. This one got second last time out. Connections don't win very often, but what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I looked at this horse. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse won. No, it wouldn't. But this horse has had a number of tries. Hey, it's not a decent second last time out. Runs back to that race. The horse should be right there. Yeah, I can see the horse winning, but it's not a horse that I would lean to in a contest. Only because I may have an opinion that's biased already against the jockey. I hate to say that, but if I have to be pinned down between a 1 and 2, I go with the 1. So right now I'm still leaning towards the 1.
And this horse off the layoff didn't run a bad race. Floated out 6th path down the stretch. This was not a bad race at all.
No.
And within the field here, this horse has a decent GSR. I would imagine the 11 horse, who does have some tactical speed, probably a player in here.
Yes, the 11 is obviously a player. That's a horse that I think you may want to use in any case in the contest. But I'm going to, again, if I'm comparing and trying to whittle down a race that I'm struggling with, I still, second race off a layoff, this horse could be a little sharper, so obvious contender, but I am going to give the top billing to the 1 over the 11. Now, the other horse that I thought was interesting is the 12. So if you want to talk about that horse, I can't figure out a couple things. Maybe you can enlighten me here.
Yeah.
I looked at, always give it again, a race especially that I struggle with. I rely almost I would say exclusively on EquinEdge, because I said, okay, let me see what we can do with that, because I am struggling. It's races I have an opinion on that I know very well, that I use both handicapping angles, but I can't figure out how this 12 is the EE long shot. Is you think this horse has a chance? Now, this horse is bet last time out in the same field that First Shot Fired ran in, and also Parakeet. So, but this horse does not have a profile of a winner to me. And the connections are 0 for 32. And it's just, did you see this horse over the shot?
Well, yeah, because of the horse's speed, and the rail's out 66 feet, and this is such a bad field that I can understand why Mike likes this horse. But I mean, look, let's look at where this horse is going to be, right? Well, at the start, so it's going to be out here. We can clearly see that. Watch. Let's press play, and he's gonna have to ask this horse, but there's not a lot of speed in here. That horse is going to be sent from the very beginning, no doubt about it. And if you think about it, it's a lot. There's 12 horses in this race, and horses are going to have to get the trip, and it's going to be very difficult for these horses to get the trip. I prefer saving ground on the inside here, and the 12 is not my favorite here, but that rail is 66 feet out. I mean, there is not going to be a lot of running room for so many horses in the race. So, I think trying to beat the 4 is the smartest thing you could do. There's no way I would use the 4 horse. I like you. The 1 horse has the right style. I mean, this horse, though, we talked about this, 36% to win, 63% to win, 25%, 21, 27, always has a good win percentage and gets his ass kicked every time. But that's kind of the profile of all the horses in here. What about the 3 horse at 28 to 1? But it has no speed. It would have to get lucky as hell, no question. But with a bunch of horses that don't like to finish, at least this horse likes to finish.
Right. And 3 back at the 7.5 furlongs, this horse had a bang up second at 21 to 1. So, yeah, this is a race too. If you said, if you told me we're at the NHC and you told me, David, I'm using the 3, no plebeian, I'm like, yeah, that could be a contest horse. Give it a shot. But at this point, I had made a decision. With all due respect, hello, Mike. With all due respect to your handicapping ability, I'm on the 111, not the 112 here. So 111 for me in the first race at Gulfstream.
You know what I do worry about with 11, though, David, is if you look at where the starting position is right here, and the horse doesn't have any speed, and the rail's way out. This horse is not going to, this horse is not going to most likely get the trip. It's just not. Like, how's it supposed to get it? It's going to be out here wide and where the 1255 is, right? And then it has no speed. So all these horses are going to go, and this horse is going to go wide and probably lose ground, maybe even have to check back. And then it's got to work its way. Think about how much best the 11 horse has to be to win this. I don't see it. Not that I don't like the horse. I actually think the horse is the best horse in the race. I just don't see how it's supposed to do it.
Right, and did run a third with a nose finish to the 2 horse who was running in this race. So those 2 horses are pretty even. So I guess if you have that opinion, you would lean to the 2 over the 11 in that spot.
That's the horse I'm actually leaning towards in this race.
Okay, makes sense.
I think the 3 can finish, but the 3 is going to have to pass everybody, and it doesn't look that good. And this horse is going to save ground on the inside. The win percentage goes up to 18%. The GSR's at the second top of the field. So it ran a good race last time out.
My question is, does this horse really want to go a mile? That's the thing I'd be looking at here.
It's the top GSR for the horse. If you look at all the distances this horse has gone
on GSR.
On GSR.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's just that the last race concerns me, having the lead and then getting caught.
I don't think that has anything to do with the distance. I just think a better horse beats the horse. And
I'm looking at the numbers, the pace, and I'm guessing this horse was too close to that fast pace for this level. So
it was only. You have to forgive when you see something like this. To me, the horse outran its win percentage because it was only 8% chance of winning. That's one of our most accurate algorithms. So when it says, I have trainers all the time will say, "Hey, Scotty, I love my horse today." I'm like, "You're 6% to win." No, but the horse is training great. Yeah, but you're 6% to win, right? That means find an easier spot. Well, the horse was only 8% to win, and it still got second place. To me, the horse ran huge. So I'm looking at it differently than what you're looking at when you're saying it was in the stretch and was in the lead, and then it actually lost. I'm looking at it going, that horse ran huge, and now it's 18% win. And then it's going to save ground on the inside, and it has a good GSR, and it's tactical. You can't say that about many of the horses in the race. So it's likely to get one of the best trips. The 12 horse is going to have to send hard from the outside, no question. And I think the 12 can be a little scary. I'm going to go with the race simulator that says the horse will probably slow down and stop. But it's likely to have at the second call, it's likely to have almost a 3-length lead. And it's 24-1. I don't see how this is not the worst looking horse to use in a tournament. But it's easy for me. I'm going with the 2. So
yeah, I see your point. The more that I look at this horse, and again, I'm going to rethink that last race. I think this horse was close to a fast pace, and that's a really good race to even hold on. But again,
I'm using 2-1. I'm going to take the inside horses. I do think the one I agree with you is going to run a good race. It's not like I have some big love here, and so when that happens, go with the system. I think we both agree, even if the 4 wins, which is unlikely, it's just burned too much money, and it's going to have to come from behind. It might not get the best trip. So I think the two horse makes a lot of sense in here. It just does.
Okay, that could be my triple 111-2. There you go.
There you go. Okay, so let's go to race number 2, and let's play the simulated race. Let's go. So far, so good on the internet. What's up, Patrick?
Hey, Patrick. Good morning. Good. Well, yep. Still close to morning.
Still morning. Still
morning.
morning.
We can still say that.
All right. Wow, this 5 horse is closing like a champ. I'm going to get rid of the 1. Doesn't really factor in here, so no reason to keep it. Let's look at the 5. What's up, Mike? I love that Mike does that. Mike's like, we wouldn't even know if he's gone, but he's like, I'll be back. It's just such a stud.
There you go.
That's how that's what our community's like. It's just amazing. It drives me, honestly, David, to and the team to work really hard and have everybody be proud.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
Yeah. And I run into people at the track when I'm live, and they, hey, I heard you on EquinEdge, good pick or whatever. I'm like, I said, even if it's a bad pick, thanks for listening in. We try to do our best, as horse players, we know how the game is. And yeah, it's just great to hear from people. It's like, yeah, I don't want to bother you, but I hear you on EquinEdge. It's a great show, but thank you for all the support.
Yeah.
It's greatest, and I love doing the show. And I'm hoping that it's entertaining for everybody.
Yeah, well, I just think, David, you have this demeanor about you. I just think people love you. You're just a genuine
thank you so much.
guy.
You tell that to my wife, please.
She knows that already. That's why she's kept you around for so long.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I saw the way your daughter was with you. She just adores you.
Yeah. She's my biggest supporter. Yes,
she's
my inspiration of positive thinking, and that has helped me. I will tell you, having confidence, and because I used to be a guy that got down on myself after a few bad tournaments, and it's like, I can't do this. I'm going to get blown again. But she says, just think of you winning. Just think of the cash. Just think of the trophy. I'm like, okay. I was doing that for months.
So
there you go.
It's so great. It's so great to have that support.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And it's just really neat too, because genuinely the people like Chris and Oldie and Justin and you and the guys, and like people only knew like how genuine. It's amazing. Like, and then I always talk about the EquinEdge team. I say new, but some of them are new. It's the best programming team and development team and people in EquinEdge that we have right now. Like, we have a really good chance of doing some great things in handicapping. And it really helps when everybody unites and supports each other, and no matter what, and it just makes a difference. I'm telling you. And we can do this. Like, we're trying on this end. Software development, for those of you that don't really fully understand, and how could you if you're not in it, is brutal. It's just so brutal.
I can only imagine.
It is so hard. Like, you think you got some, you go, okay, we have a fix here. We're going to fix this problem. And you fix that problem and it breaks 5 other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, it's not for the faint of heart, believe me.
I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to it. So we have the 5 horse here. Did you look at this horse? I mean, it's going on the dirt. It's made most of its money on the dirt, which isn't a lot of money, only 36,012 tries. It's interesting that the simulator race, the EquinEdge Picks likes this horse. Jaramillo is aboard for the second time. It didn't do well last time out. You have to throw that race out, though. It broke bad. But here's, when I see something like this, I see a horse breaking 10th, and at the second call, it was only 5.5 lengths back. That means that Jaramillo had to use the horse up to get closer to the pace. And so maybe throw that race out. And the GSR is similar. But what do you think of this 5?
I'm trying to think of the right word, and I think I just got it. How about uninspiring? I just don't have the. Again, if you want to make a case for this horse, I'm concerned with the lack of speed, and now blinkers off. I don't know why. It may be, obviously the trainer knows the horse, so there's got to be something going on there. I can't. I'm reluctant to use a horse with this kind of lack of early foot, or any foot at all, until late. But the only thing I'll say, Scotty, this horse did drop down the last race to its lowest level ever, an 8,000 claimer. Non-winners of 2 lifetime, and is in that same category. So I guess, yeah, I looked and I'm like, why is he have it on top? And I guess that's the reason. I guess you're giving that horse another chance at that lowest level of horse has been yet. But I'm going to keep searching.
All right, so I find it interesting that the 3 horses 5-2 morning line. It's a price play, which is a long shot algorithm that we have. And I mean, Safi Joseph claims this horse for 8,000 out of the last race, and the horse goes up in GSR, face is similar, and the win percentage goes up a little bit. Steadily faded 4 wide. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, that's one of my contenders. I prefer this horse over the $5 Liberty. The only thing I'll say, and I'm still a little reluctant to support this horse. And again, I have to remember that we're dealing with $8,000 claimers. They're not going to look too good, most of them, right? So, and this is none was it to a lifetime. So you're not going to have many winners here. Safi Joseph off the claims, Ayaz on. How can you not bet against this horse? You're based on Safi Joseph's history here. However, the one thing I will caution is that since this horse was claimed by D'Angelo, ran into Hutchinson, just throw that race totally off. That horse was totally overmatched. Next race, 25, same level it was claimed at, none was at 2 lifetime, basically had the same race and ran into Hutchinson. Last race, had maybe showed a little foot and is packed in. So the last 3 races since this horse was claimed by D'Angelo have been bad. Is this horse just gone wrong? So that would be my concern, even with the claim. But it is contender. I like the 3 probably to hit the board, but I'm still searching around, I think, for my number 1 pick. How about yourself? What do you feel about this?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this horse. I mean, Safi's 27% off the claim, which is he's such a good trainer. But it looks like this horse needs to be forwardly placed, and the 6 horse is 100% going to lead. I mean, this is just a very fast horse. I don't believe the 6 horse has a chance of winning this race, but
we agree on that. Yes.
Yeah, but they're sending. The interesting horse here is the 7 horse who's off of a year layoff and broke its maiden in a straight maiden. I can tell you right now that this is almost certainly a tendon issue. But what happens is, first of all, the horse is getting Lasix for the first time, and and the horse is 26% to win. What happens in a situation like this is you keep this horse going for a year. You're doing that because the horse is showing some sort of signs of running. You're not going to waste your time to put this horse in an 8,000 claimer. It's because you think the horse, not going to be at the same level. But I would imagine this horse is going to come out running. I would just imagine that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and this horse has got a big chance. However, I want no part of the 7, to be honest with you, Scotty. Yeah. 2 5-furlong races showed some speed. Is this horse off that long layoff injury? Probably, most likely. Lasix on. There's just too many variables. If this race was 5 furlongs, 5.5, even 6, maybe I'd give it a shot. But at 7, and you got to show me this horse wants to go 7.
I mean, but think about this for a second. This is not a strong group. This horse does not have to be much to beat these. That you know what I mean? Like, to play devil's advocate. Hi, Catherine, by the way. This horse does not have to be much.
Correct. And as a 2-year-old, this horse those are good efforts, right? Yeah. But there's just too many factors. This is not any angle that I'd ever consider. Now, again, we're looking at contests, right? So for a contest, I'm not ever using a horse like this.
Yeah, I agree with Dave. I mean, this horse has to be sound, there's just nothing in here. The fact that the EquinEdge top pick is the 5 horse and that horse doesn't look great. I think the 7 is going to be really tough to beat off the layoff. This horse isn't much. This horse has a 5% chance of winning. Basically, horses that break their maiden come back to win 5% of the time. The horse is dropping from 29% to 6%, dropping a little bit in GSR, not too much, and the SOR goes up 10 points. The 9 horse is not likely, and that horse is 5-1 on the EE morning line. So, and then the 3 is likely to duel with the 6 from the inside, mind you. and the 7 horse sits in the garden spot in 3rd. So if you picture the way this race is going to play out, I'll sort from the top there, and we watch the first call. So the 7, there's a 6 in front. The 3 is going to be probably right in the inside there, and the 7 is just going to be sitting on the outside. And then it's interesting, yeah. And then here comes the 5. I mean, I will say this: what could happen in this race, right? And we need to take a strong look at the 4 horse Awesome Train.
Yes.
But what could happen here is you could see look at the blue. Like the 5 is closing, the 4, maybe the 6 horse stops for sure. Maybe the 3 is gonna stop because it needs to be near the lead, and maybe this horse is not all that great. It doesn't look that great. And then what happens is, if the race is going to break down, you're going to have all these closers. You're going to have the 4, you're going to have the 5, you're going to have the 8 and 9. Maybe that's the way we should be looking at this race.
Yes, exactly. You've come to the conclusion that I've come to. And Catherine, I'm on your 8 also. And so these are the horses I want, Scotty. Okay. 7 furlongs. The 6 doesn't look like it is a 7 furlong horse, in my opinion. I have questions about the 7. The 3 is 1 at 7, and it's Saffie Joseph off the claim. So just that alone, if you want to tell me you want to bet Saffie Joseph off the claim and not think about even looking at the race, hey, there's worse strategies in the world, right? At Gulfstream. Yeah. So the horses I'm trying to come up with here are the 2 horses that were in that 12-5 claimer on July 13th, and that's Awesome Train and Down in the Valley. I love the cutbacks stretching out to 7. I'd like to see a horse with a little bottom, a little conditioning at a mile. So to me, I think it's likely that the winner of this race comes out of that race. So for me, it's about 4-8. And I think this was a slowly paced race they were in, that 12-5 claimer. It's kind of a weird race. I watched the replay of it last night, and I'm like, okay, it's coming out of that race. The 4 had a nice workout on July 10th. So with that being said, I'm going to use the 4 over the 8. So 4 is the prime play, 8 as my backup.
Well, if you look at the 4 horse is 32% to win last time out, but it had the 8 path. And so maybe we should be giving this horse another chance. Now it does drop to 12%, whereas the 8 was 20% last time out, and it drops to 15%. So the 8 has a higher win percentage based on that finish last time out, but it does look like Awesome Train, 8 wide, and it looks like this horse did not have the best trip. So maybe, but loses Zayas to the 3 horse for Saffie, so goes there. I don't know, 5-2. I mean, this horse is 5-2 on the E Morning line. I have mixed feelings about this horse. Awesome Train can finish. The 5 horse looks like it's finishing, but usually you don't see horses coming from so far back on these 1-turn dirt. They just don't. They're not. You know what I mean? They have some sort of speed. The 4 has no speed. The 5 has even less speed. The 9 is somewhat tactical, but it just broke its maiden, and it's wide. You don't win from a wide post as well. The 8 post does not win very often as well. It just doesn't.
Right. And one of the things is with the 4 and the 8, both horses are dropping down to the 8,000 claimer level for the first time. So it'd probably they're running against slower horses, right? Or cheap, or horses. A race that's going to be more cheap speed than the race they've been coming out of. So So those are the horse. But again, if the 3 wins, would it surprise me? No. If the 2 won or the 7, yeah. So it's one of those races that. It's a little bit of a head scratcher.
Well, for me, I even off the layoff. I mean, they've waited all this time. They've kept this horse going. The horse has to be sound. This horse is running in maiden special weights here at Gulfstream Park, and now this horse is in for $8,000. They didn't keep this horse going for no reason. Sano is only 2% though off the layoff, but I mean.
$10 that horse you're gonna, is that your top pick?
No, I don't know, but the thing is listen, if you don't know for sure this horse can win for $8,000 and you're going through all this training, you should be shot for wasting all the money. I mean, you're talking about a $3,500 a month bill.
Well, let me ask you this question. What if they thought and they had every intention of putting this horse in at a higher level? That's why they kept giving it the effort. And then they realized, like, okay, it's not working. This horse can't run. Let's just get rid of him and see if somebody will claim him. That's the way I look at it as a.
No, and that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah,
No.
actually, Gary brings up the EquinEdge long shot, which no doubt about it. Like, my only concern with this is the horse was tactical in that last race. You saw that, right? So the 2 horse, if you look in this race, though, Gary, this horse is going to be like far back, most likely. And in that last race, it was 51% to win. Now it's 8%. And it's not going to be close to the pace like that. So that's why, for me, I can't get down with this 2 horse myself.
And it was a muddy track. Yeah, and it was a muddy track, and his horse was 3 to 5. So this horse was going to win most likely. It was a very, very weak field. So you got to show me. Yeah.
I just think this horse is just not fast enough in this particular race, and so I'm not a fan of this horse. I'm gonna have to go with the Safi Joseph. Safi Joseph, how often is he claiming horse? Well, 99 tries in 2 years, but he claims
27%. Mm-hmm.
I mean, but look at this horse drop from $25,000 to 2 lifetime and drop to 8,000. And he's supposed to run better, isn't he? I mean, and doesn't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Originally, Scotty, when I handicapped this race, I'm like, okay, I'm just going with the Safi Joseph horse. Off the claim, you're probably going to get this horse right. But it's only 3 weeks, almost exactly a month, right? But then I started looking around, and I'm like, those 3 races since the claim when this horse won at 7 furlongs. But again, the horses won at 7. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if I'm using horizontal wagers, I'm probably using the 3, 4, 8 here. So
yeah,
Contender, yeah.
I can't get down with these horses that have no speed here on this dirt, and like the 8 horse having a wide post. I just can't get down with that. The 4 horse also has no speed. That's rough, but they are going to get some. They're going to get some speed here. I mean, the 6 is fast. I'm stalling a little bit, but I mean,
you're not looking to board the awesome train with me, huh?
Well, only because
the station very soon. Yeah, I'm on the bandwagon.
In the last race, the horse was only a length and 3/4 behind. It's projected to be 4 3/4 lengths behind, like at the second call. And the stretch, it's going to be, it's just, it doesn't seem fast enough early. And so, and then the 9 horse is going to be wide. So I just can't get down with that. And then it lost ground. It had the lead last time out. Could the 6 go gate to wire maybe?
Like I said, Scotty, I just don't see that horse as a 7 furlong horse. If this was at 5.5, I may be interested.
You see, the GSR does go up to 62. I
know.
It does go up 10 points.
I hear. Yeah, exactly. Does. Yeah.
And this horse, maybe this is the horse. This is a really, really tough race. Like Mike was saying, this race sucks.
Right. Okay. This is when we're at the track, Scotty, and we're back and forth. Like, you know what? I'm just watching the race. You can have a part of this. I'm having a beer. You tell me.
Well, okay. So they did geld this horse. So interesting that Safi Joseph gelds this horse. I will tell you what I don't like. First of all, geldings only come back to win 11% of the time. And for me, I know they can come back soon. It's too soon. I mean, it's been you claim this horse, and then this horse is coming back in less than a month to run after getting gelded. They already only win 11% of the time. This horse is going to probably go off as the favorite. I got to bet against this horse. I just really do.
Which horse you're referencing?
The 3. It got gelded after the last race.
Right.
They only come back to win 11% of the time. And for me, I like to see if a horse gets gelded, I like to see the horse get a little bit more time. They're bringing the horse right back. I'm going to go with the top win percentage horse. I'm going to go with the 7.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the 3 too, I'd be more confident if this was if Safi claimed this horse and moved it up a bit, 12-5 or 16, right?
Yeah.
8, off those 3 bad races. So okay, you're on
Yep.
the same. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's true too, Mike. Sometimes you go with the EE morning line. But I don't
Yeah, and I
really,
will, Scotty. I just wanted to, I think this is important, so I just wanted to interject it
yeah.
real quick. Yeah, so many times I'll tell the listeners that, yeah, when I look, I'm struggling with a race, and I look at that EE morning line that's much lower than the track maker morning line. I give that horse a look, and I've used horses like that before who've won. Just for that metric alone, right? So definitely always look at it. If you see something where the EE morning line is much lower than what the morning line is, yeah, that's a horse to take a second look at.
All right.
Hey,
So who are you going with in this race?
I'm on the awesome train.
Okay,
I'm on
you're
that
going on the
bandwagon.
board.
So, and then the awesome train is going down in the valley. So there's my exact awesome train. We're taking it down in the valley. So
Hey, remind me who you went with. I went with the 2. Who did you go with in race number 1?
I went with the 1 over the 11.
111. Okay, so let's go to race number 3 at Gulfstream Park now. We have 36 minutes before the first race of the feeder.
Okay.
If you want to get into this, you can go to ntra.com, and it's easy to do. You can press join, and then when you go to join, you can see right here the packages they have, and you sign up for $50 a year, and then you would go to horseplayers.com, and then you can play the feeder for $18. And you can see I'm putting in my picks here. So I've got the 2 horse in race number 1 and a 7 horse in race number 2 at Gulfstream Park. All right. Race number 3. Let's run the race. I'm going to get rid of the 1% and the 2% on the 4 and the 8, and let's run the race. That's good. What's up, Bill? I don't know if Chris is still there, but Chris, do you have any openings in your coaching class tonight? Chris doing a good job there. Like, it's got some really good players that on Friday nights. I do Thursday, Justin does Wednesday afternoons, and then Chris does Friday night. And you go to www.equinedge.com and you can play or join the coaching classes. It's limited to 20 people. All right, hey, David, tell us what you think here.
All right. If you thought that the first 2 races, if I was going for a beer after the second race, then the third I'd be having lunch. So I really just struggled. But I will tell you this: I did make one conclusion. One horse I'm tossing now. Usually when I see a race like this, I want to play horizontals, and I'm like, I'm just going with the EquinEdge picks. I don't have time to handicap this race, but I can't go with the 3 on top. When we talk about money burners, Scotty, this is almost puzzling. This horse has burned money 6 times in a row as the favorite. Yeah, I mean, I would think. So then I don't even have to take a second look. If this horse wins, this horse can beat me. Right?
I'm with you. Yes, sir.
Okay. So then I couldn't come up with a winner. It's a small field. So I think I did know an English painter once, but he screwed me out of $200. So I'm not going to bet that. But in all seriousness, I guess I would guess I would lean to the 6 here, the second choice on the EE. More.
You know what I like to do, David, in a situation like this? I like to look at the trouble line, right? Just to see, okay, what happened in the race. Now, the horse is off a layoff, and Barbosa is 23% off the layoff. So that's pretty good. And last time this horse was at a level this low, look at it was running very good. It's when this horse started getting against tougher. That's when it didn't do any good. So maybe at this level, off the layoff, jockey trainer combination is 29%. Also, Gonzalez actually gets off of the 3-horse, which he rode last time out, and to a second place finish. So there's a high likelihood he chose the 6-horse English Painter, who's probably likely to come back and run pretty good.
Yeah, a contender, but again, I'm just, when I look at this race, I was just puzzled. I guess you could make a case for the 1 or the 2, correct? Maybe even, hey, I'll take another look at the 7. The 7, I mean, I've seen worse long shots that are 3 for 22, right? But this horse was at as low as 62.50 at Gulfstream, so it's probably not a horse I want. And with English Painter dropping from 25 to 12.5 for the first time, I guess that's the logical horse here. So I'm not going to look too much further into it. I am concerned about the layoff, but I think the drop down will help this horse.
All right, so let's see here. 5. So you like the 7?
No, I like the 6.
You like the 6? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the 6 as well, so that's easy.
Okay, and I think in all honesty, because I'm not spending a lot of time, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this race personally. I'm just, if I had 2 seat tickets, I'd use the 6 on both.
Okay, and this 1 horse does seem to have a pace advantage. Let's see. First call. It's not that much. 3 is going to probably try to go with it. 6 is going to sit a nice trip, actually. We should look at the 2 just real quick. The 2 horse never seems to get there. It's right there. It's one of my pet peeves, like when the horses just don't finish, and that's what's happening here. And that's at a similar level. I mean, the race, and it only has 3 wins and 37 tries, so that would make sense. This one also doesn't finish. At least you know what I like? I like to see horses fighting. And if they end up losing ground at the finish, but they're fighting to win. And here's an example of that. The 1. It's going, at the stretch, it broke bad. At the stretch, it was a half a length back and ended up losing, but it was fighting. And it's facing similar. It's going up in win percentage, same GSR. Here's a horse. The EquinEdge long shot is absolutely a horse that can win this race. And you might get 3 or 4 to 1 on this horse too. This horse can win.
Oh yeah, this horse is a live contender. The only thing I looked at, I prefer taking a horse who's 3 for 10, which the 6 is, rather than a horse who's 3 for 33, or the 2 who's 3 for 37. If you look at them, both of them seem to prefer to finish second. So the 1 has finished second 7 times, and the 2 has finished second 8 times. But they hit the ball. I mean, they're honest horses. I mean, and they're in better conditioning than the 6 you would think off a layoff. So yeah, I could see any one of those horses. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Daniel, as far as your question, I try to really let the win percentages guide me in that situation, because it considers all those things. So, like, give you an example. I mean, this is like 3 years ago. And there was a trainer who was 0 for 36 with first-time starters, but it was the top EquinEdge pick. It was 30-something% to win. And I remember saying on my show, no way in hell, I don't care what the system says, am I betting that horse? And it won for fun. So I think you just have to consider all those things. This is that kind of group here. The 1 horse, I don't like that it's got only 3 wins and 33 races again, but this is that type of group. This is more likely because this horse likes to win. It likes to run. You can see that 3 wins in 3 seconds and 10 tries. It has 3 layoff lines, so it has some physical issues. Barbosa's good off the layoff. This horse is going to try. We know what this horse is going to try. This horse is most likely your winner.
I agree. We're on the same page on this one. But Scotty, I just wanted to respond to hello, Bill. They are, in response to your question, they are running the Beat Big contest this year. It's up. You should have received an email, or you can go on beatbig.com and then put in your name, address, your name and email. And as long as you're a member of the tour, oh, that's right. You're not. Okay. All right. You can still join, but you go to beatbig.com. And I think it's the third week. So you've got the rest of the meet to try to qualify for the September 14th final. It's basically almost a free shot because it's usually 15. Actually, no, what was last year? 12 to 1,500 people, something like that, I think. So give it that a shot.
All right, let's get to Saratoga. So we got the 3 races done over at Gulfstream Park, 27 minutes before this first race. When you are playing in these feeders and qualifiers in the pick and praise, you have to have all your plays in before the first leg goes off, or else it won't count. So you want to just make sure that you're careful. All right. Let's run this race here at Saratoga. So we're looking at a maiden special weight fillies and mares 3 and up, purse of $100,000, a wonderful purse by Naira, and you need that. I mean, there's so much money spent on these young horses, all the horses for that matter, and you need to be able to recoup some of that money because people are also doing the math, right, David? They're looking, going, all right. It's like this, like a claim price. If you can claim a horse for $8,000 and you have an idea of a spot and the purse is $27,000, you're likely to make some claims. But I had trouble, if I'm being honest. I started claiming some horses at night over at Los Alamitos a while back, and there was just, the purses just weren't big enough. So you claim a horse for $8,000 and you're running for a purse of $11,000. It made no sense.
Right, exactly. And especially in New York, Scotty, the key is claim a New York bred and raise some open company. You get the open company bonus. So, yeah. And I talked to, actually, if you want to talk about this race, just quick, I was a little bummed out when I saw the 6 was the late scratch, because I heard that when I was up there last week that Brad Cox has got a hot horse, a filly that's going, probably getting in on Friday. And it was Stellify. So okay, there goes that. There goes that thing. So we'll look at it.
Well, maybe that's a horse to watch and follow.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I'll have to do that. Okay. First of all, I don't know if you noticed, but go back into yesterday's races and go look at all the horses to watch, and they just crushed. I mean, you have to pay attention to these things. Like in this situation here, the 4 horse is 63% chance of winning, which is even better. But when you're the top pace number, top win percentage, the lowest EE morning line, and the top EE pick, you're going to win 39% of the time for a negative 11% ROI and 72% chance of in the money. And the reason that's because people are, and this is after takeout, but you can see that this is a big time favorite in here. The simulator race has this horse winning for fun. So I think the only thing we have to concern ourselves, well, and look at the horse broke bad. It has a 4-star workout by Bruno on July 11th. Let's see what it says here. It says, Too Sharp, Dreaming of Lilies and Ashes and Diamonds worked a half a mile out of the gate, and Too Sharp was quickest away and in front early. So Too Sharp was too good here and drew off late to go on to finish well in front while finishing up strongly. So certainly looks like that horse is going to be tough. And then also, if we can watch, he does have Too Sharp is on the outside, and we can watch this and see. And there's Too Sharp. It looks okay. The exercise rider's not really asking. They went 46-4. When I look at this horse, to me, he's a bit headstrong, and so I look at it looks like this horse is fast, and so there's a likelihood that this horse, and the system has this horse in the lead. I would imagine you're going to see who's the jockey. You're going to see Alvarado send this horse because this horse most likely needs the lead for its best. This horse, the one is pretty fast, but it does draw the rail. I think you're probably looking at the 4 horse going gate to wire. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I just wanted to point this out too, Scotty. I watched all the races yesterday. I had some active wagers going that could have been very profitable. If people weren't watching yesterday, there was one of the most extreme rail biases I've ever seen at a racetrack in my life. You had to be if you were anywhere outside the 2 or 3 path, you had no shot. Everyone who was winning on the dirt was coming up the rail or maintain their position. Or Irad Ortiz had a horse. I don't recall them. It was one of the later claiming races, I believe. And the horse took the lead, turning for home up the rail. And believe it or not, the horse drifted out into the 2 or 3 path just a bit. And Dylan Davis on an 11-1 shot came flying up the rail. I'm like, wow, the rail is golden, and came back and beat Irad Ortiz, who didn't see the horse coming. So it was just such an intense rail bias. We don't know if it's going to happen again today, but just wanted to point that out. I'll watch a race or two to get, see how the dirt's playing. They'll probably try to correct that, but that happens quite often when you have a lot of rain. They seal the track and then the track's drying. So usually for a day or maybe 2. So we'll see how it goes. But Scotty, with this race, it looks like all 4, right? This 4 has been working out great. $925,000 filly yearling. This horse was bet at prohibitive odds-on choice the last time out, but there's one caution here: is what happened. This horse did not win at 3 to 5, right? This horse got off slow. That's the only concern I have, Scotty's. But I guess I have 2 tickets. I absolutely have to include the 4. But just a question for the audience. Does anybody know who currently is the leading trainer at Saratoga in terms of percentage? All right, I'll give you 30 seconds. But any answers here? We're going to play an interactive thing.
I would say Brendan Walsh.
Okay. Anybody want to join from the? Okay, I'll disclose it. It's actually Robert Falcone.
Yeah.
Okay. He's 4 out of 8, I believe now. So it's 50%. And he was actually on X yesterday saying, hey, I could use more horses in my barn. I don't have enough, which is a perfect time to send that out. Right. So if I'm going to, again, I have to look at it that if the 4 breaks slow and we still have another rail bias, the 1 draws the perfect spot. Blinkers on, LASIK's on. This horse has a race over the track, Belmont Stakes Festival week, and was close to the pace. I didn't think that was a bad race, but just packed it in. Now cuts back a bit with blinkers on. I think I have to try to be a wise guy here. I'm going to use the 1 on one ticket and the 4 on the other, with thinking that maybe there'll be a rail bias again, and even if the 1 finishes second, that's the longest second price on the board, that you'll get a pretty decent price. So I don't think you can go wrong with either the 4 or the 1 here.
Well, they're adding blinkers to the 1 and LASIKs for the first time. But the 4 is, it looks to me from what I can see, the 4 is just look at this. You're talking a bullet here, 1 of 150. I mean, this is a really fast horse. 18 of 105, 1 of 34, 1 of 18. Yeah. Look at the bullets. I mean, 1, 2, 3 bullets, 7 of 60. I mean, this is just such a fast horse. 63% to win. What's interesting is here, look, this is a second-time starter. It broke 11th. It got second. But 63%? I mean, this is obviously a very nice horse. It's outside of the 1. I do think the 1 is going to try to go to the lead. What about the 5? Did you look at the 5 at all?
Yeah, the 5 is a horse from Ellis. I would probably I didn't have an interest in. I did show a little speed and packed it in, but the other horse I would use over that is the 2. You've got a Peter Brandt, Chad Brown, $720,000 yearling. I mean, may need a race, may not, but obviously it wouldn't surprise me if that horse won. But the only thing, Scotty, before I forget, that I'll point out about the 4, don't get me wrong. If the 4 didn't get off slow a little bit the last start, I would have no interest in the 1. That's the only thing. I got a little bit of an angle saying, well, what if this horse gets off to an even worse break, and that you do have a speed bias, rail bias? So that's the only reason. I mean, if that horse, again, I'm looking, why did this horse lose? It was such a good thing, right? On 11 horse field. Off a little slow, probably cost the horse, right? So that's the only reason.
I got to take the 4 horse. I'm just going to take whatever whatever money I can get, and I'm using the 4. This looks like a very nice horse. I'm not for me to play against a 63% horse makes no sense. The horse broke 11th and ran a huge race. Hopefully, my hope is that the one horse just doesn't break all that well. That's the hope. It does add blinkers for the first time. So, all right, Saratoga race number 2. We have 18 minutes, so we should be fine. But I'm gonna sort here. Let's run the race here. Here we go. So there we go. The 5 horse is the top win percentage and lowest EE morning line. There are a couple of horses with 7-2 though. 70% chance of being in the money. What's interesting is it's an 20% horse, but it's 33%. So certainly deserves a long look. But look at all the blue. I mean, these horses are finishing, and you often see that in these turf races. And we're going to need your help on this one.
Okay, my lock of the day.
Oh,
all right. This race fits one of the angles that has been successful for me in my daily playing and also at the NHC. And a lot of handicappers don't agree with this, but it's worked for me, so I keep it going. And I'm trying to figure out what my ROI is for races like this. So when I see a turf race where we have a bunch of horses that are either seem to be maybe underachievers, had enough chances on the turf. Again, this is a maiden race, so there's a lot of horses haven't had that many opportunities. So, but when I think there's questionable form, what I'm looking for is some kind of stranger. So let me start making a knock on the Chad Brown horses. The 4 and the 5, I mean, yeah, they make sense. But, I mean, when Chad drops them in from a maiden special to a maiden 75, I don't think they can't be too much, right? And the rest of the fields, Fly Right, this horse has had his chances. Now is a gelding. I don't want any part of that horse. I don't want any part of the Zito horse. Shams Pride, this horse can beat me. So the horse, I'm looking for a stranger who's never tried the turf, and I've got the victim here. And that's 6 Kings. Now, and I will point out, my boy Tyler Gaffleon, one of my favorite jocks, is riding just like a master in this meet. He's already got, I think he's up to 16 or 17 wins now. It is a Nyquist. I got to look at what the GSR is again, but
it goes down a little bit. It goes down 8 points. Yeah. But I've seen you hit with these things though.
Yep, hit at the NHC the year I won, and even last year with the Silver Sunday on Sunday, hit with one of these. So what I do like is this horse has had 3 chances on the dirt, right? And that 1.8 race, that wasn't bad. That's not a bad race. So this horse, 2 bad races, improvement, 1.8 stretching out. Now is at 1.16 turf. First time gelding, first time turf, drops in class, new trainer, Joe Sharp. And that's my horse. I mean, this horse to me is going to be one of my singles. If I had 2 tickets, I want the 6 on both because it's just one of my angles. And same thing, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I live by this angle, I die by this angle. So it's 6 Kings on both tickets for me, Scotty.
Well, and this horse, you have to throw out the last race. This horse jostled at the 3/8. And let's see here. We've got, looks like, in this turf course, from what I've seen, is you have to be somewhat near the pace, don't you think?
Yeah, again, because we had a rain out on Wednesday. So you only had 1 turf race yesterday. So I have to see what happens today, to be honest with you. They took a lot of rain. So it could have changed. Yep.
And what about this 1 horse Pack Stational? This horse seems to have a lot of speed, second off the layoff. Any chance for this one?
Yeah, this looks like a horse who doesn't really want to win. If I see this horse next year and he's 0 for 12 or 0 for 13, it wouldn't surprise me. Lane Luzzie's 0 for 31. There's just it's too spy. This horse just doesn't have the. Never been bet. I mean, it's 42 to 1, between 42, or actually 32 to 74 to 1 his last 5 starts. I didn't want any part of that horse.
It looks like the 3-horse Shams Pride is an interesting horse who is 16%. It doesn't seem, I don't know what happened here, but it really finished with interest here. Now but it's been off almost a year, and the trainer's 12% off that. Rosario gets aboard. I don't know. What do you think of this 3-horse?
Yeah, got a shot. I looked at this horse, but so this horse drops from maiden special to a 75. The breeding on turf is good and comes out of strong turf circuits. I mean, Colonial Downs and Kentucky Downs did show some closing kick in that race at Kentucky Downs. Awful layoff. Yeah, that horse got a shot, but this is a Rosario timing, flying from far back and making his one move. I don't think it's going to be enough here. I think the 6 will get a jump on.
And the 6 horse is the EquinEdge second pick.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now it was gelded since that last race.
Yeah, our first time gelding. Mm-hmm.
First time gelding. In for a tag. Sharp. How is
Sharp? First time pick, right?
Sharp is 5% with this. I've seen you hit with this so many times, and every time I didn't like the horse, and it wins.
Right. Yeah. Well, I will tell you, my table at the final table. Actually, no, it was that Sunday, because I think at that point I did have the lead. So my table was trying to talk me out of a first time Bernardini. And I'm like, no, you're not, we're just sharing information. They're obviously like, no, we hate that horse. I'm like, okay, well, see what happens. And I can walk back to the table. I look at him. They're like, Jesus, how'd you come up with that horse? You're just lucky because he got a walk on the lead. When I was fortunate, no one else went out and he took the lead. So, but at 12 to 1, I'll take it every time.
Yeah. Here's the look at the 4-horse, like Chad Brown. This horse must not be great, but I will say this. He's putting this horse on the turf. Look at the dirt number. And Chad, it's interesting that he's putting this horse on turf. Look at that. That's an amazing number on dirt. This is the type of horse you would claim if you knew that the horse was sound for Clarovich Stables. Right? I mean,
yeah, I'm always skeptical when Chad puts in a horse at 75. This horse has been working at Monmouth. So he's got a string down at Monmouth. So I'm surprised that he just didn't wait or shipped his horse up, I guess, last week. Right. Must have come up with a couple of other horses. So I figured, I'll give this horse a ride and throw him in this race. Probably a bigger purse, right? But yeah.
The workouts are really good. I mean, they're really solid. Yeah. This is a Justify gelding, but obviously something's really like a miss with this horse as well. But I'm stalling a little bit. I'm struggling with this race. For me, pick a darn number. But Mike has an angle. Let's see here. So. And all right, well, we know what you're going for. You're going with the 6-horse.
Yeah, I'm going with the 6 on both tickets. And again, I just also with the 5 Hurricane Express, who's still in, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's questions there. This horse ran at Tampa last time out. Now is a gelding, in for 75. It's a Peter Brandt horse. When does Chad geld a horse and drop it down?
No.
I had a question about this horse. But so Mike does like the 9-horse, Sherry DeVoe. And I mean, I've seen worse horses, Yoshida blinkers on off a bump start at the same level. It's got a shot.
No, and the workouts are good as well. This horse didn't break good first time out, bumped at the start. His second call was 5.5 lengths back here. It doesn't look like the horse had the best trip, and Flavian Pratt jumps aboard. Franco bolts to the 4-horse. I think there's something here with the 4, except I really wanted to see this horse on dirt, not on turf. So, but the GSRs, other than the 7-horse, really aren't all that great in here. I got to ride you on this one, David. I honestly have no clue. I'd be lying if I did. So I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. I hope you're not bringing me down, but
Yeah, me too.
but
Yeah.
okay, so it's 6 for you also. Yeah.
Yep. I just don't have any kind of an opinion at all. We got 8 minutes before this. You have to have all your plays in, you guys. So this is the last race, and 7 minutes before Gulfstream Park, race number 1, and we'll have that for you. Yeah, Mike. I don't know. I don't have a clue in that race. All right. What do you think?
Okay, I got a little history, and I will admit that I am rather biased in this race.
Okay.
So I'll tell you a quick little story about the one Perform. So on June 7th at the Belmont Stakes Festival, I was a participant in the Belmont Stakes betting challenge.
I remember.
And when I saw Perform at 18 or 15, 16 to 1 on that board, I'm like, what is going on here? And Arthur's Road was lone speed. So I was all over Perform. So this was my exacta, but I was trying to be a wise guy as normal and try to do something a little crazy. So I had the Perform on top of this horse. But it still made me enough of a profit to move up on the board at that point. So I was in good shape. That was Friday. I had a good Friday. Good Friday, no pun intended. So I have history with this horse. That race alone, I think will just bury this field. And drawing the rail, Dylan jumps back on a board.
Wow, you really like this horse.
Yeah, cuts back. I think the cutback will be in this horse's wheelhouse. Now, again, this horse did run at 1 1/8 in the last race. Went back down to Aqueduct and had no excuses there. I can't find an excuse. It was a slow pace. It was just kind of a weird race and faced Power Seeker, who knows this horse out. But I think getting back to Saratoga, getting the inside post here, which was so beneficial yesterday, that this horse to me is a lock. I don't want any other horse. It's all 1 here to Perform.
For me, I struggle because Power Seeker, I mean, you can see like this horse, it hasn't won since 2023, and it runs good, and Perform, couldn't beat the horse. So for me, if I'm comparing those, I don't like to see that. And so I am looking at the 2 horse and the 3 horse. Those are the 2 horses. I'm going to go with one of those. I can, obviously the 2 horse has class. It's also a horse to watch. And I mean, it's 52% chance of winning in this situation and 83% chance of being in the money, which it should be. This one is another one that's burned money. The 3 horse, Irad does jump aboard for Linda Rice. Let's look at the jockey trainer combination. Tyler gets off. I think that Tyler was taken off probably for Irad. Linda Rice is going to try Irad, but this horse has been facing better than the other horses, but it does go up in win percentage, but it's burned some money. I mean, it has burned some money. I think this is a wide open race. And I am struggling with this horse a little bit because it beat a 58 group, but since then it's just hovered around. And let's look and see. Awkward start here, lacked winning bid here. Yeah, that's a tough race. And you like this one horse. I think any horse in this race can win.
Oh, I definitely see your point. And again, this may be part of my downfall as a handicapper, but sometimes I stay loyal to these horses. And I just thought that Perform ran such a good race on June 7th.
This was a major contender. Absolutely. You're right. No,
yeah. In that race, Scotty, this horse Perform also dusted that the Costa Terra, who was 5-1 and performed, was 18-1.
Yeah.
But that was off a layoff, understood. And but then Liscano now jumps off, Costa Terra to ride Power Seeker, which I guess probably is the better horse then, right? And then Gaffleon they probably replaced with Irad. So yeah, I mean the Linda Rice horses, or the two have a shot, but I think this will be a close race. I don't think the one's going to win by 10 lengths. Don't get me wrong, but I think with that right trip, I like the rail position there, and this horse is going to save all the ground. Probably get the easiest trip and the fastest trip to the wire.
I'm super interested in Irad jumping aboard for Linda Rice. The jockey trainer combination is 22%. And this one certainly deserves a look as well. Let's take a look at the simulated race and see what it looks like is going to happen here. First call.
Let's give some love to my boy Dylan Davis. He's riding 20% clip. He's having a great meet. He's right. Look at the percentages. He's right there with Irad and Gaffleon and all the big and Pratt. Just gets less mounts.
The only horse the system says can't win this race is the 5, and I don't think this horse is impossible. No changes really to speak of. If you look at the record of these horses, you got 1 minute, about 2 or 3 minutes to get your plays in. David, I already know where you're going. You're going with a 1 horse here, and Costa Terra. This horse broke. But look at this horse at this level. Just continues to burn money. Like, I don't know what's supposed to change here. I guess maybe Irad. They were frustrated with this horse, so they added blinkers last time out, and the blinkers really didn't do much. Same kind of thing. This horse was 5 to 6 wide, so it's a possibility. A lot of times, I will say this: second time blinkers, a horse can improve.
Absolutely, that's also another one of my angles. Second time blinkers.
Yeah,
not in this case.
It broke 8. It didn't break well. I think, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance with the 3. I'm gonna take a chance with the 3.
Okay.
And Irad.
And the one thing in your defense here, Scotty, is that that's the only horse who's actually won over the Saratoga racetrack. So that's always a good angle.
Okay, that is a good angle actually, and that's actually a thing. Yeah, look, in 5 tries at Saratoga, the 3 horses earned $130,000. In 3 tries, the 1 horse has earned $35,000 at Saratoga. Harlop has never raced here. Either is the 6 Power Seeker, and the 5 horse earned $14,000 in 1 race. So, I think the 3 horse has a big advantage as it applies to Saratoga. All right. Hopefully, I'm a little concerned about using the player for the streaming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little concerned about it. Hopefully it's not going to slow down my computer. Hopefully, let's cross our fingers.
Yeah.
But there's okay, so we've got race number 1. Let's get to that.
At Gulfstream. Now I have
the
1, 11, and who I know I wrote it down. Who do you have again, Scotty?
Gulfstream Park. I have the 2 horse Chromotion, 6 to 1. You're on the 1 horse at 7 to 1 Parakeet.
Okay, you're doing the Chromotion, huh?
I'm doing the Chromotion.
You're not doing the locomotion. You're doing the Chromotion. I don't know if there's an actual. I don't know if that's an actual dance, but you're doing the Chromotion.
Yeah, I'm all over this horse actually.
And the more that you talked about it, the better that, I think this horse has got a good shot. And that's also one of the values, too, of the NHC. You're there for 3 days, sometimes 4 if you're in the first shift, same table. And this is the banter that goes back and forth, right, between horse players. If some table dynamics are a little different, and that might not be what happens at your table, but my table, that always happens, and I'm the one who says, hey, do you think this 2 has any shot at anybody? And some people don't even respond to me. I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. It's like, oh, he's picking my horse, which is, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got their their personality and how they want to deal with the NHC. But yeah, you get that banter back and forth. And now I like the two more because I respect Scotty as a handicapper and he makes sense. And if somebody's at the table who I don't know, they know what they're talking about, I'm like, oh yeah, I see your point, but I really don't.
Yeah, no, I think there's a fine line. You have to figure out how to be able to listen to other information without influencing you. That's very
correct.
That's
Absolutely.
really hard to do. Really hard to do.
And one thing that changed is that I stopped after 2021 listening during NHC weekend to any of the Prattle, like, Andy Serling, any of the Naira guys, any of the handicappers. I stopped listening to, because what would happen, I'd pick a horse, I'd listen to the pre-race thing. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't see it that way. And then it would affect me. I think I can handicap. Well, don't let it affect you. That may be your style. You want to listen to people, but I blocked that out, and it's definitely helped me over the last couple of years.
They are moving into the gate right now. I was trying to get a pick 5 in, but I don't know if I'm going to get it in. 2, 3, 5, 7, 8.
No, getting a horse doesn't want to go in the gate. You might be good. Oh, he's going in.
6 and 8. 6, 7, 8. And 4, 5, 6.
With all these horses, large fields, somebody's going to misbehave. Probably. You may have time.
All right, I'll put in a little one there. All right, let's watch this race. All right.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
All right, you guys.
We're set for start. Racing at Gulfstream. For the inside, Crow Motion gets the first call. Look for the early advantage.
That post position for the 2 is enormous with that speed.
Absolutely.
Racing up into 4th and down toward the inside is Line Astray, moving on his outside.
And I'm happy that the jockey on the 10's letting the 2 go. 12's trying to rate. I don't think the 12 can rate. Maybe it can. I definitely advantage the 2 horse getting the early lead. No doubt about that.
Oh, somebody went down.
As we had one unseated. That was the 6 Treasure Flay who stumbled.
6 is out. Hopefully everybody okay.
Make their way to the half-mile point. The leader is Crow Motion by a length and a half over Builder Jackie in 2nd. Milchin is 3rd. At the rail, it's Line Astray in 4th from a covered-up Ocala Rocket, who now moves to be 5th. Up to the rail, it's Parakeet racing together with an improvement.
23 and 4, 47 and 1 is not all that fast.
Run home from the back is Dixie Preach. His fight till
4 is starting to come on a little bit,
Yeah,
but not
and the
really
1
all that great.
The 1's got nowhere to go.
1.
They run now to the final quarter of a mile and up.
Maybe not have any horse either. What? Here. Maybe it'll show a little bit of run. Not going to get there. Come on, hold on with this 2 for Scotty. Get that 1 up for a second.
With an 1/8 of a mile to go. Crow Motion finding what he needs. He's 4 lengths to the good. Line Astray tries to split horses for a slice. Late run down the middle from No Plebeian to the wire. Crow Motion in front. Line Astray.
All right, 2-5.
First shot fired.
All right, good job, Scotty. You talked me into that horse, but yeah, good pick.
Did you use it on one of your tickets?
No, I don't have either one. Yeah, I don't have the 2 or the 5.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not in the NHC. I played in advance one of the horse tourneys things.
Yeah.
Because I got the 2 seats, so I'm trying to get a Breeders' Cup, a BCBC seat at this point. Also,
5 to 1. I bet that horse to win actually, and I singled that horse in my pick 5. All right, that's a good start.
Right, and I should have used it in something, because when I pointed out that this horse, I wasn't sure about this horse he seemed to have quit last time out. That was a good race. Those were faster fractions than this race. 45 and 3, 109 and 4. This is kind of too fast for the level, right? So that's a great that race I underestimated until you pointed it out. So when I see that, I should have just put a little bob on that horse. Good pick.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good start. All right. So we got 5 to 1 shot home. Is an 18% horse. It ended up getting the lead. And, one of the factors, too, was
the post.
what the 12 horse was the main speed, but it was wide. It had that 12 hole. That's not a great place to be. So that's going to hurt the horse definitely. And that's ended that. If the 12 horse would have been dueling with the 2 would not have won that race.
Correct.
Yeah. So
there's some kind of inquiry going on.
it was because of the fallen.
Oh, the down horse, right? Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. Okay. Saratoga race number 1's coming up. I know, Joel. No, I was telling David this before the show. I said, I'm so worried about this internet. I'm so worried about it, but so far, so good. Okay. So Saratoga race number 1. Sure. Oh, we should probably start maybe covering some of the qualifying races, David. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah. I'm just getting a wager on race 1, so just bear with me 1 second.
Okay. Don't
I
forget.
got to say my exact of 4114. Okay, good. It's in.
Okay. Just as a reminder, Monmouth Park has canceled their card today, and because of extreme heat, so there's only going to be 7 races today. So you're going to just put in all your plays except for Monmouth Park. Just remember that. Now, don't. I've seen a lot of people that will fill in the Monmouth Park because they're like, well, I don't want to put nothing in there, and they do all that work. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. Okay. And you can see at the top, when you go to horseplayers.com, you'll see it says that Monmouth Park is canceled. It says the feature schedule will run with the remaining races. So there you go. Okay. All right. So essentially, based on that,
So 7 races. It's basically like handicapping. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting contest today because if you don't get a lot of prices, you may have some. It's going to be tight if you don't get a lot of prices. I mean, it's going to be 10 cents. It could 10, 20 cents, 30 cents could give you a seat or put you in 4th place, right? It's probably going to be a.
So Saratoga race number 5 is where we start off.
Okay, so we've got a mile and 16th on the turf, maiden $40,000 claimer, fillies and mares 3-0. Yep.
Let's see here. So we're going to get rid of this. Get rid of these. Okay, so let's run this race. So the 5's got the lead, but here comes the 1Z train. What were your thoughts in this race, David?
Okay. I had a couple of question marks about some of the main contenders here. Just wanted to make sure. So we have a late scratch. The 4 is out. I knew there was a scratch there. Okay. The way that I looked at this race and who I am eventually settling on is I'm going to be on Katie Davis today with the 5 American Kestrel. This horse drops down, has had 2 races on the turf, and one that was rained off for 7 furlongs. You can throw that race out. 6 furlongs. This horse apparently wants turf, and that off the turf is meaningless. And that's that's the biggest drop in horse racing from a maiden special to a maiden claimer. So I think the drop is really going to help this horse. And if I'm looking at the EE metrics, the 5 should have a clear lead. Katie Davis has been riding okay. I mean, she's fine here. And I think, especially you give her a speed horse with a pace advantage, I think she's going to be fine. Ray Handel's barn is just been doing so well. This horse, Ray's right now is like 29-30%. And his barn gets very streaky. He's one of my favorite trainers. He's on a roll, and maybe we can do a Davis exacta here, right? This 11 Lions Miracle Mo. Don't love the post. Pratt was on last time out. But I mean, I think I can give a horse and one time on a turf and as an experience. Don't love the posts, granted, but I'm looking for a little value, and you'll see as we go forward. I'm probably a little more chalky than normal, so I'm going to use 5 on one ticket. And if I had the second ticket, I'd use the 11 just to try to get a price. So it's 5-11.
David 5/11. Pratt gets off of the 11 horse. The GSR is honestly too low to believe, but
I understand.
But you know, and it's 1% to win, 20 to 1 EE morning line. It draws that wide post.
It's logical, but I'll give it a shot. That's just
I know. Well, no, you have to take those kind of shots, definitely. And I just, for me, and the simulated race doesn't really love the horse. If you want a big long shot, it is very interesting to see the 9 horse is only 1% chance of winning. It's 12 to 1 EE morning line. It's a low win percentage connections, but this horse didn't do bad. Here's what I mean. If you look 4 back over at Tampa, right, in the February 17th race, that was against a 44 group, same GSR, and got second place with 9 other horses. Today is a 36 group. I just think because this horse been facing tougher horses, 52, 52, even 42 here, but this was on dirt, and that maybe this horse is a long shot look. So just one to think about. I probably won't use that horse myself, but I think that horse deserves a long look.
Yeah.
When I sort the EE morning line, it gives me, you know, most of the top win percentages are here, but I do want to look at the 5 horse because it does look like the 5 horse has a chance of going gate to wire. For me, I have always loved the inside horses on the turf horse over at Saratoga. You know, so when I look at that, for me, it brings up the 1, 3, and 5. And so I'm really looking at one of those horses. Z Train is dropping from a 46 to a 36. It broke 9th last time out. It's been off a layoff. Dutrow is 9% off. Anthony Dutrow is 9% off the layoff, but does get the Tory to come aboard. It's an interesting horse. The 3 horse Luna Love is only 5% to win, but it's EquinEdge's second pick. Did you look at this horse very closely, David? I mean, what do you make of this horse? It didn't break good here. Off slow, forced wide, and only lost by 2 lengths. So
yeah, no, I'm not big on this horse. And again, this is a weak field, right? Let's be honest. This is really nothing great. Even the one I looked at, this horse is not even lifted a hoof, really. The 3s, and I don't like Vino Rosso's on the turf at all, so I'm going to throw that out. I can't take Zito or Rapoli on this Uncle Mo. This question marks with the 7 and 8, both Chad Brown horses dumping in for 40 grand, 40K. You know, you got Pratt and Ortiz, the 2 leading riders. They're going to obviously go to that horse. So that's why I thought American Kestrel, he just could wire these horses easily and not have too much of a problem. And the only reason that I would include the long shot is because I think the field is so weak that, you know, second time on turf, this horse could plug up for second, the 11. But it's why I want to be clear that I'm really solidly on the 5 with the 11. If I had another ticket, figuring what you can't lose, you got 2. You might as well use another horse there. So, but yeah, it's just a weak field.
You can see the note. First of all, this is a huge drop. The horse is only 3.5 lengths, 3 3/4 lengths back against a 50 group. This is a 36 group. Win percentage goes up. GSR is about the same. And the horse has good works, except for this one. And it was full of energy here, but never settled and lowered her head. Katie, our friend Katie's aboard. And this horse is going to be on the lead. 100%. I'd be shocked if Katie didn't send this horse on the lead. Can she get this horse to settle? I don't know.
Scotty, they're loading in. They're just they're
Saratoga?
Yeah, they're in.
All right, so let's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn up the volume. Let's listen to it. Who are you on again, David?
4 and the 1. I prefer the 1.
I'm on the 4. So 4 did clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't get off slow, so looking good. For the
Look at
one,
the
the one
elbows.
I'm
Look at
inside.
the elbows.
The one's got nothing.
No, the 1's done. Look at the elbows on the jockey on the 4. Like, I mean, he's not even asked. This horse might have a future, actually. Wow, look at that. You can visually see the turn of foot. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah. It's sharp filly. Yeah.
Wow.
The horse is she's too sharp for the field.
Look at that. Standing up on the horse right there. That is a nice horse. That was impressive.
And again, I did point out too that the only reason I would even think of playing against is that the line, this horse lost that 3 to 5, got off slow. If this horse got off like she did, she had no chance to lose. So
4-2 is your order of finish. The 2 went off at 5-2. We got 1-2 on the 4 horse. And that was just a procession. This is a really nice horse, worth a follow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Twirling Candy, 925,000.
Wow.
I
Super.
purchased at the Keeneland sale in 2022. Yeah, this is a good filly.
Yeah, Bauer is. Wiz, you're right. Absolutely. Bauer is a very good trainer.
Absolutely.
And I think people are starting to know that now because it was like the running joke that if Bauer had a horse, you were going to make some money because all his horses were prices. They're not prices anymore.
Right, and he tends to do well at Saratoga, very well, with limited stock. Right, he had a winner last week that I was on. The horse that had is it Warrior Johnny, who's in the Met, not the Met, who's in the Whitney tomorrow. Warrior Johnny, who's had won at Saratoga before for Phil Bauer. So,
all right, well, that's a good way to start off the.
Scotty's 2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 for 2 on the feeder. I'll take it. Yeah, maybe it's going to save me some money and having. I usually do 2 entries on Fridays, so I'll only have to buy 1 maybe. Let's see here. All right, so we were on race number 5 at Saratoga. Let's get back there.
Until I interrupted you, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, no. So American Kestrel, I know where you're going. I completely understand it. A little bit worried about the note on this horse. Which says was full of energy here, but never settled and lowered her head. So I'm a little worried about that. But I don't think there's really anything else in here. The 3 horse Luna Love is definitely a long shot look. But I mean, this horse, no in the money finishes in 7 tries. This goes to show you the strength of this field when this is your second pick.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Very weak field.
Yeah. What about this 10 horse, Queen Rocket? Another one that's, that's, Jose Ortiz jumps aboard. That's a positive.
Yeah, I can't play a horse who's been in a 16,000 maiden claimer at out of town at Parks and Gulfstream and now is in a $40,000 maiden claimer at Saratoga. It's an X through that number 10 for me, Scotty.
Yeah. Understandable. All right, the EE morning line. Maybe we'll go with that angle. What about the 8 Fantasy Performer, 2nd-time starter, and the win percentage drops even with the drop in class off the layoff for Chad Brown. Irad does jump aboard. Are they just looking to get this horse claimed, or does this horse have a chance?
I mean, Chad Brown's trying to win the meet, right? And chances are he will. He's got more horses than just as long as it's tons of races don't come off the turf, he's probably a lock. So are they just trying to win with some of these horses that they know that don't have a bright future. It always concerns me when they dump it into these horses into a 40,000 maiden, but it's so weak. I just think that I'm not sure the ability of these horses, but either one is eligible to win. It's 7 or 8 if you want to use either one of them. But I'm looking for more of a little bit of a price. So I'm playing against Chad here.
You're playing against Chad. All right. I am struggling with this one a little bit, so I'm not going to make a decision for myself on this yet. But you've got the 5, and you like the 11.
I'm just throwing him in for a cap horse.
Okay. The next one we have is Saratoga race number 6. Then let's go there. We have less horses to cover today.
Yeah, and I like the horse at Monmouth, race 5, Giant James, a lot. So, oh well.
Let's see here. So we got Gulfstream Park coming up in 10 minutes from now. So, okay. So race number 6, let's run the simulated race. Going to get rid of this 50-to-1 shot here. Let's extend the screen here and press play. All right, let's see what happens here. Looks like the 9 has some speed. %28 win on the 1 horse. The 1 is gonna, I think, win the race. It's really close between the 1 and the 5. And get rid of this 11 horse. Doesn't look to have a look. And the 12 horse also doesn't seem likely. All right. So it's kind of left with these horses. They're all fairly close to each other. I think anything can happen in this race. It's an inner turf race. This is new, by the way. We finally added this information. So we're letting you know if it's inner turf. You can see here also, you see the square. So that's inner turf. So this horse, so now we have that. If there's a circle around it, it's outer turf.
Correct.
All right. So, but this horse actually ran good in the inner turf last time out. Got a 2nd place finish. And what was interesting is usually on the inner turf, you need to be near the lead. This horse was 8 lengths back and finished. You would think, it'd be tougher. But this horse, look, if you look at the first call, this horse is going to be actually near the lead the entire time. For me, looking at this, it does look like the 1 horse could be awfully tough, especially saving ground from the inside.
Yes, Scotty, this is a wide open race, and I like this race a bit. I mean, to me, you could have 4 or 5 different horses win this race. I think it's a 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, even the 10. So we got a challenging race here, but you've got a lot of form to go on. And as I started, I originally I love Al Saul coming into Saratoga. This horse, the 5, 3rd race off a layoff. And on its best day, this horse is definitely a contender. The 12 horse, I throw the 12 out, but this horse is 1 for 1 over the turf at Saratoga. But with that post, it's a throw out for me. The 1 should have a great trip, and the concern I have with the 1 is this horse has been in maiden $30,000 claimers and was barely held down at Fairgrounds in December in a maiden 30. So I like a horse here, and I think it wasn't going to be a hunch play per se until I found out that today was Hall of Fame Day. I remembered, and I was listening. There's an induction going on, so then I was like, okay, well, the horse I like. So let me just tell you this, and sometimes these things, like once I hear that must be fate, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? So the horse I'm on here, Scotty, is the 2, Jay Hirsch. Okay. For those of you who don't know, today is Hall of Fame induction day in Saratoga, and you know who's being inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Who?
Joe Hirsch, columnist, racing writer. I mean, that's just too good to pass up. Gray Emotion may have entered this horse in because of that, because this horse had broke. This horse is a contender at 15-to-1 morning. It's not this time at a Giants Causeway. I mean, I'm a huge not this time fan. go two back. This horse broke its maiden as the favorite at a $40,000 claimer in a 12-horse field by 6 lengths.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't understand is what happened in the last race. Okay, I know maiden, first time facing winners. Yeah, had an outside post, but I give any horse a one questionable race. It's not as good as the race two back, but with that being said, I like the two post on this inner turf course, only going a mile. I think this horse gets to the perfect trip, and it's just too good to pass up at Jay Hirsch on Joe Hirsch induction day. So it's 2, and if I'm picking a second horse, it would be 5. So 2-5 for me, Scotty. Jay Hirsch over Unleash the Power.
Well, I will say this too. Horses only come back to win 5% of the time after breaking their maidens, and this horse only lost by 3 3/4 lengths. So, and it's not like it's 2% to win; it's 11% to win. So you have a very live long shot there. So I do not hate that horse whatsoever. Not that matters, but I don't at all. It's interesting the 25 to 1 the morning line, but maybe it may who knows, maybe that's just completely off. I do like this one horse. I like the fact that this horse it had that first race on the inner turf and it ran good, and now it's projected to be even closer to the pace, and it draws the inside I like. I mean, that was 11 other horses that it beat last time out. So I think Gilded Kraken is probably the horse to beat. I do think we have to look at Unleash the Power, who seems to be a major player in here. Has had plenty of time off. Actually, I worry about that. Well, it's been off 30 days. That's not that much. It goes up in win percentage. Same GSR. It lacked room and steady last time out. It broke 11th the time before that. The time before that, it bumped at the start and it checked at the 3/16. I mean, this horse just keeps on having trouble. So it's third off the layoff. What do you think of this horse?
Yeah, again, 1 for 14 is what my concern is. But this horse seems to run competitively, but just doesn't have the winning profile, right? But I just think that with this horse may have faced tougher horses at Churchill, and horses who have been shipping from Churchill have, since the meets began a couple of weeks ago, they've had pretty good success. So that's the only reason. I think this horse hits the board. So I think this horse is going to get a second or third at the least. So you'll probably get maybe some place monies. But to me, this horse is just a hard hitter. Not too many bad races. It's always running pretty well. So a third race off a layoff, shipping against races that may be superior to and 2 12-horse fields it comes out of. This horse got a big shot.
Yeah, this horse is a major player in this race. No doubt about it.
Despite the 1 for 14, which always concerns me.
Despite the 1 for 14, no doubt. It is a player. It's third off the layoff. It looks good. Gilded Kraken seems reliable to run a good race as well. I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really sure what happened here where it lost by 15 lengths. It shuffled, so it had issues. I mean, so the horse usually runs very, very well, and it can rate, and it's going to save ground. It hit the gate last time out, was 3 wide. The trouble line says, I mean, this was a huge race last time out. Same connections, 28% win. I gotta like this horse a little bit, don't you?
Oh yeah, and I recall watching that race. I think that was opening weekend. And I lucked out. I actually did hit the winner of that race, Classic Creation, at a good price. But that race had 12 horses, and it looked like 9 of them could win. And I just kind of got lucky. I used like 3 or 4 horses there, and one of the horses I made a win bet on won. But I mean, coming down the stretch, any of like 6 or 7, 8 horses could have won that race. So tough. The trip is going to do it. It's not. I think this race is probably maybe not as tough as that. It was competitive, but yeah. This horse has a big shot. Absolutely.
David, you know this better than me, but like the 3-horse Harvard, who seems to be have a look in here. It ran on outer turf, and now it's going to inner turf. What's the adjustment, or how do you know when a horse that runs on outer turf can run on inner turf or not?
Well, to me, the inner turf, because it's got sharper turns a bit. I think you've got to usually speed is a little better and positioning is more important, especially at a mile. I think you want to be closer to the inside with all things being equal. Now, if it's been a soggy course, you may not want to be along the inside. So I don't know how it's going to be playing with all the rain they've had. But I think with the inner, the 3 post is a good post as long as it's not a bog down there, which I don't think it is. So yeah, this horse, it piqued my interest. I remember this was a David Jacobson horse, and I'm not big betting Jacobson on turf. And Rob Atras is more of a dirt trainer in my eyes, but that was a good race. That's a good race in June 29th. So yeah, this horse is eligible to win. I've seen worse long shots. This is a wide open race. This is a good race.
Yeah, look at the win percentages of the 1. Like, this horse always has good win percentages, and it does have a couple of wins in a couple of seconds to its credit. So I don't want to say it's a money burner, but I mean, it won by a half a length here, and it won by a quarter length here. It lost by a half a length and a quarter length here. I mean, you're going to be sweating if you choose the 1.
Right. Like, and Scotty, I don't think no matter who you bet, I think you're going to be sweating coming down the stretch, because I think you're going to have 6 or 7 horses coming in a stretch where you're like, who's going to get? Somebody's going to get blocked. Somebody's going to get a bad trip. Hopefully, it's not one of our.
No doubt about it. It happens.
You know what I mean? These turf races. Yeah,
it does. I think you give yourself a better chance when you take when you're taking a horse that's going to be near the lead. When we look at the pace projection here, clearly the 9's going to be on the lead. Can you envision the 9 horse going gate to wire?
Yeah, it's just me. I don't like the 9 at all. I just think that last race, this horse just got a lot of horses didn't go. I mean, some got a trip that looked good. It looks better than it is. I don't think this horse is much. To me, the 9's a throw out, to be honest with you.
All right, so let's go to Gulfstream Park race number 2. They're at the gate. And remind us, you like the 4 horse Awesome Train, and I am on the 7 horse Papete, who is your lukewarm favorite, the Starship Mocha, which was claimed for 8,000 last time out by Safi, with Zayas as a board. Let's go out to the race and watch it.
Yeah, I'm 4-8, so obviously, if I'm at the NHC, the 4 is a better price, so I'd be locking it in on the 4, and I'd have a 4-8 exact there.
They're at the gate.
Looking for 2 closers. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everybody.
Starting leg of the early pick 4. Papiete is a 5-2 lukewarm choice here. Substantial class drop off the layoff for this son of Not This Time. Showed some precocity as a 2-year-old, but is back now as a 3-year-old against much lesser stock. Viva Victory, Starship Mocha, and I'm Still Brave, joined in by Dollar Liberty. Vito's brother, he's ready now. 3 more.
All right, your layoff here for this 7 horse is your 2-1 favorite. Goes into the gate nicely. They've loaded the 4. All the inside horses are loaded. You got the 8 and 9 left to load. Claiming price of $8,000 here. Their purse is $23,000, going 7/8, which is 7 furlongs here on this dirt. And unless you have some speed, being wide is not really a great place to be. It's why I don't really love the 8 and the 9. But let's see what happens here with the break. And let's see if the 7 horse can break good.
And they're off. Good start for Semi Samaritan. Vito's brother has speed on the comeback try. Here's Papiete moving out. Moving out the rail. Starship Mocha ridden into 4th. They're almost 4 in line. Tripped out while 5th is down in the valley. He's only about 4 lengths behind, working 3.
There's Safi's horse that actually gets the lead.
The rail goes Viva Victory 3rd last. I'm Still Brave is 2nd last. And Dollar Liberty last a long way as Starship Mocha kicks clear. Starship Mocha and Edgar Zayas paid a 22-2 toll for the opening quarter. They're there a length.
7's not running.
Semi Samaritan, who's on the chase in 2nd. These top two have gone 7.
No, my suspicion.
He's
Yep.
in joint third with Down in the Valley on his outside. And it's a length
Come on, this 8.
His brother, he's dropped better than 10 lengths to off these battle duo.
I'll tell you what, he's standing on the 9.
To the outside and
Absolutely standing.
Yeah.
Away from the back is Delaware
But,
Liberty.
yeah,
Front is Starship
there's
Mocha.
Sappy.
Starship Mocha.
Sometimes you just
Here
have to.
comes the 4. Here comes the 8.
On from third, Down in the Valley, underway from fourth is Awesome Train.
Come on, get a second.
Sappy can improve a horse, can't he?
Yep, that's what we said. Yep.
Still rolling on the top end. He's open to
Here comes your 4. Not going to be enough to catch the 3, but
No.
4 is going to get second, so you're going to get some points.
Then Sammy Samaritan and Dollar Liberty.
3 stopping though, David.
Awesome Train is
I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, it won't be enough. Yep.
Starship Mocha close to home. Awesome Train rolling, but he's out of time. Starship Mocha wins. Awesome
Okay,
Train
well,
goes
some
down
points
to
there, but
3/4
yeah,
length.
the
Dollar
Sappy. What are you going to do? All right, let's get back, share that, and go put that in there. All right. Saratoga's race number 2. We were where did we leave off? Race number 6, I think.
Race number 6. We're still on 6. Right? Did you make your final selections for race number 6?
No, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So I'll let's go to race number 7. I think that's one of them we have to do. Let's see here, Saratoga. Yep, race number 7.
Saratoga.
All right. Come on, 4. You're only like 5 minutes after the race ended, Ryan.
Talking about a delay. Come on with that 4. Oh, oops, that was
Come
the
on
replay.
with that 4. He's got dial-up internet.
And you'll always get a couple of those stragglers at the NHC who are drinking a little too much. They come back into the room after hitting the men's room, and you're watching a replay, and he looks up at the board, and it's like a 25-1 shot. It's like, come on with that board! And you're like, oh, buddy, the race is that was the replay.
No, Ryan says it was a different race. So you got to You got to keep us up on which race you're talking about. You can't just say, come on, 4. And we're like, what are you talking about? We want to root for you.
Well, if I had a 3-4-8, I would have hit the triple in the last race. They gave me a little fun there.
Hi, Darsh. Oh, you're on the board, though, David. You're on the board.
On the board.
It was interesting. Well, there was a couple of people that are in contention that did have the 3. So that'll probably put them over the top. But, yeah. 4-horse ran Kevin Engelhard. Maybe will stand first with that. He had the 4-horse like you. Talk about the 6-horse where? Maggie T? We'll talk about the 6. All right, David, go ahead and start us off here. What do you think about this 6-horse Maggie T? This is non-winners of 1. This horse got a second place finish in a 20,000 claimer last time out. That looked equally as good as this field.
Yeah, this was another race that I thought was pretty competitive. I liked Santa Gata originally off that maiden win, but that horse is out now or at a scratch. I was trying to be a wise guy here and looking for a price. I originally was trying to get Big Hazel in the number off the race 2 back. I mean, this horse is though 1 for 15, and then you got Foxy Cara, who's 1 for 19. So I'm looking for I couldn't come up with the price here. So I went to the 1. And again, this horse draws the rail at 7, which I usually don't love. But yesterday was such a rail bias. This horse, even with the rail, with blinkers on, makes sense. Off the claim off Linda Rice, Horacio de Paz. Santana is riding at this meet at 14% currently. And this horse has won before at 7 furlongs on April 21st. So I like that. So I'm just going with the 1 here. And I think if I was going, I mean, the hunch exacta is the 6 over the 7, right? Maggie T, Carol T. So that'll be over bet. And I probably, for one of those, put the 6 or 7 second. I don't like Foxy Carol, 1 for 19. And I would probably take the 6 second Maggie T. So with 2 tickets, I'd take 1 on 1 and 6 on the other. So 1-6.
Well, look at this horse is getting blinkers for the first time after the claim, and maybe that helps this horse. I don't know, but this horse has burned too much money to be believed. But that was a nice workout, 12 of 138 on July 21st. So, maybe this one horse will even show more. Maybe this one horse will get the lead early on. I don't know. I mean, look at it's very competitive. Let's see what the race simulator says. First call, it looks like the 6 could have the lead. This horse has just burned too much money for my liking. Its style is to be near the lead, and it doesn't really like to finish. And the blinkers may or may not help this horse finish. For me, I think trying to beat this one is prudent.
Okay, and I think also one of the reasons that led me to the 1 over some of these other horses is that the horse at 7 furlongs has hit the board every time. Yeah, barely held on in its victory. But some of these horses, to me, that are in this race look like 6 furlong horses. So that's the only reason. This horse got proven ability at 7 and blinkers on and draws the rail, which was a good place to be yesterday. So that's what led me to the 1.
Now, you said you didn't like Foxy Cara. It is the second pick. It's been racing against similar horses. It never seems to get there. It was 5 wide last time. I had 7 wide. I mean, this horse did not have a good trip. 3 back, it stumbled and still lost by a length, and was 5 wide the time before that. Hit the gate the time before that. Had the 9 path the time before that. Only 1 win in 19 races. I mean, this horse is an absolute head case, but man, it's got to get there one of these days, doesn't it?
Yeah, you would think so. But hey, listen, last time this horse, she lost to both Big Hazel and Carol T, and Big Hazel was 17-1. So if you want to take Big Hazel, I just think this is pretty wide open, and I'm looking for a horse who hasn't been against. Again, my horse that I'm taking is 1 for 9, so it's not telling you much. But there's kind of it's a question to me. It's about the 7 furlong distance with a lot of these horses.
So Carol T and Foxy Cara faced each other last time out, going 6.5. They're getting 7 furlongs now. Foxy Cara had some trouble where it looks like the Carol T had a perfect trip, and they were within ahead of each other. So they were right there.
And Big Hazel had a perfect trip also that day.
And Big Hazel had a perfect trip and didn't run a lick.
No.
Got second.
Yeah, second.
Oh, and then moved up against Tougher. Okay, yeah. So what do you think? Man, this is one of those races, isn't it?
Big Hazel is big. Hey, Big Hazel could be the tournament horse, right? That this horse, based on its race 2 back. But again, then I'm looking 1 for 15. You got the 1s here. So you got 1 for 15 lifetime, the horses. David Donks is 1 for 21 at the meet. And Jose Gomez is 1 for 23 at the meet. So if you add them all up, 3 for 20, 40, 44, 15, 3 for 50 something. That's kind of leads me off this horse. But I've seen worse long shots.
I can't believe you didn't take Dylan Davis. I mean, there's your boy. I mean,
yeah, I tried to make this horse, and again, this horse, Massara, was in that race July 7th, right? And had a terrible trip, awkward break, and showed a little speed. You got Davis on, Marat off.
Yeah.
I do have a question too. I think this horse, Central Banker, and the breed. This horse is, to me, more of a 6 furlong horse, I would think. But so that's why I lean towards the 1.
Let me tell you why I'm going to use the 2 horse, because if you look at the trouble line and you go throw out that turf race, didn't like that turf going 8.5 furlongs. If you the race before that. I mean, the horse ran a really good race against a 64 group, lost by 4.25 lengths. Throw out the turf race, had dropped back 7/16, had issues and still got third. by 7 and 3/4 lengths, and then last time out an awkward break. This horse is and has 2 wins in 10 tries. Been facing better at times. It won against a 54 group here, going 6 furlongs. Now it's getting 7 furlongs, and the GSR is about the same. This horse is a player. I think I'm going to use the 2.
Okay, and also I just wanted to point out too. Yeah, it's a viable live long shot in my eyes. But I wanted to point out too that the one horse. This race is a New York State bred filly and mare race, right? So the one comes out of an open company, a $50,000 race. So I think if you look at the PPs here, each of these horses, when they're in open company, have never been at the 50 level. The 2 was at the $32,000 level in open company. Some of the horses haven't. The 4 was in a 25 claimer. The 6 has been in 14 claimers. So I'm just thinking that was probably a better race. That might be a good claim back into against New York State bred restricted. So that threw me over the top.
What about Carol T? Carol T is very interesting as well. I mean, it gets the extra distance. It gets a better post position. I might use that horse. That's possible. You're right though. But the 2 is gonna. This is a tough race. What I don't like about the 1-2, adding blinkers and jockey trainer combinations 5%, but the system's already keeping that into consideration with that 55%. But my gosh, this horse has burned a lot of money.
Yeah, but Scotty, I think the only time it was a favorite, right, was back in February 24th. It doesn't bother me as much when a horse burns money as long as it's not a prohibitive favorite. So in this case, I just think off the claim and winning at the distance, blinkers on, that there's a lot of elements in this horse's favors in this race. So I think this is a good fit in this. This horse is a good fit here, I think.
You know, I'm actually considering going to the 5 as well, because the last time it went 7 furlongs, it actually won the race. So
correct. Another horse with proven, the only other horse to win at the distance out of its 1 for 19. Yes.
It's got 9 third-place finishes. I mean, this horse finishes. You're going to get your money's worth. Yeah, it's a tough one. The 2 horse is a horse I definitely think has a chance as well. Trying to interpret this horse a little bit. It's definitely had some issues. Awkward break and only lost by 5 lengths. Dropped back here, so had issues there. And what's interesting is this horse has really never been bet. And today the EquinEdge morning line says the horse should go off at 5-1. So that's interesting. There's a lot of interesting horses. I honestly don't. I'm going to take that off there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. All right. So you're on the 1. And I do know that I'm going to try to beat that one for sure. But okay, the next one is Gulfstream. We had Saratoga coming up, right? Yeah, they're going to probably go on the gate. Let's watch that or listen to that. All right, Saratoga, race number 2. We're both on the 6 horse, 6 Kings, who's 7-1.
Okay.
Tyler David has been riding great.
Yes, he has. Yeah, and I thanks for pointing it out. I didn't think I was going to get it in. I forgot to put my win wager on his horse.
Yeah.
Whew. All right, I'm in. Good luck, everybody. Okay, loading in the gate.
Last 2 runners left to load. One more. Sanborn going in.
Come on, Tyler.
Ready for the start. And they're up.
Probably 3 minutes behind you.
Quickly in the center of the course, immediately.
All right, the 6 horse Broke Good is about 4th last right now. The 1A Pack Sensational, who we knew would be on the lead, is on the lead, but really going like hard. The 6 horse with Tyler is actually well in hand and running easily. The 1 is about 2 lengths in front of the 7 Fly Right. So the pace and the race simulator had this spot on. The long shot, the 2 horse and the 9 horse Sanborn are neck and neck for third. 9's running nicely on the outside, really getting a good trip. But I'll tell you what, 6 seems
Pretty
to
good
have
pace.
more.
23 and change, pretty good pace.
We're at 23 and 2. And Tyler's sitting chilly on the 6 horse, about maybe 7 lengths back.
7, 8 lengths back, yeah. Better make a move soon, though.
Just ask the horse now. Trying.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see. The 3 looks like he's got up. The 1's got a horse too. Yeah, I don't think the 6 is anything.
The Fly Right ends up getting off at 4 to 1. Wow.
That's a good price. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a blowout here.
9 ran big.
The 9 ran well. Yep. Okay, had the wrong long shot.
795. The 7 horse was the top pick at 4 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at top SOR, top GSR. I got thrown off a little bit by the EE morning line on this horse. But Abreu did a nice job off the layoff. But the EE morning line threw me off a little bit.
Right. And again, we talked about how weak of a field this was, and the 7 was so far the best. I mean, the 9 ran a decent race. But, yeah, I just didn't like the, 0 for 11, and this horse just seemed to – but it shows you how this horse wins off these races that off the drop down from maiden special to 75. That is a weak field.
Yeah.
But 4 to 1's a good price.
It's a very good price. All right, so let's get back to the handicapping of the qualifier. We've got race number 6, race number 8 at Gulfstream Park.
Race 8 Gulfstream. Let me just pull it up.
Yeah, it's a 4-horse field.
Oh, there's a couple scratches, correct?
Yep, 4 scratches in the race.
Oh, jeez.
Now, speed holds. 7 looks fastest. Now,
yeah,
off of a 11-month layoff, the 7-horse Utrean.
Utrean, yeah, I think
huge. This horse is most likely going to get the lead again. But again, these horses don't come back. Going from a 44 SOR to a 62 SOR, it does go up in win percentage, and it's fast. Man, what a tough race! And you have the 3-horse here, who's a veteran with 9 races with 2 wins and 4 second place finishes, David. But has faced Tougher, got second against Tougher, but the 6-horse could duel with the 7-horse, and it is dropping in class, and it does seem to need the lead for its best. So Van Dyke's going to duel with this horse, but I don't really like this horse winning that much. The 3 could be sitting maybe in 3rd place behind those and finish. I think the 3-horse deserves probably a long look. And I like Sonny Leon in this. I like Sonny Leon with horses that rate or come from behind.
Yeah, I mean, this horse has had a few good races over this track, right?
Yeah.
And has been at this level, claimed. We got a 50,000 claim for 75 at 50. Yeah, this horse is pretty hard hitting, needs a little pace. But I have to tell you, when I looked at this race and now looking at the scratches, even the ones out, I had this race before the scratches as 7, 8, and now the 8, who I thought was probably going to be the favorite. So there's no price here on the 7. But with that being said, off that last race, I think this horse can stalk off fields of green or any other speed. I think this horse is by far the best. I'm just going to take the 3 to 5, 4 to 5, and move on. I don't want any other horse here.
Yeah. Going to the break.
So it's a 4-horse field. You only have win wagering anyway, right? So
yeah, I'm just trying to see if I like the 3 or the 7 best, but the 7 with that speed looks awfully tough, doesn't it? But Bedrock Birdie is a 49% win horse.
yeah,
So it's not like this horse doesn't have a big look.
Mm-hmm.
And the style of the 6 horses to get the lead, so most likely is going to be sent. The Zayas was aboard for that win going gate to wire. Zayas is a very aggressive. I mean, he's going to be sending hard. I don't think you have much to lose using the 3 horse, who probably go off at 2 or 3 to 1. It's one of these horses.
Right. The trouble is, I think with now that the qualifier is only 7 races, that your $2, $3, or $2.80 or $3, whatever you're getting here, may be enough to put you over the top. I mean, I think it's going to be that close today because you only have 7 races, and if you watch these Friday leaderboards, they're separated by, it's going to be a tight, well grouped bunch today, I think, in this contest.
Yeah. All right, so you're going with the 7 horse.
Yeah, I'm just going with 7. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with the 3. All right. Okay, so next race we've got is a very let's do Gulfstream Park 9, and then we'll finish off with Saratoga 8 and 10. So we'll since we're here, let's do Gulfstream 9. All right. Get rid of this horse here, get rid of this one, get rid of this one, and we'll get rid of this one and this one. And we'll run the race. Let's go. We've got 5 minutes before race number 3 at Gulfstream Park. I'm currently in 16th place.
Oh, okay. And so you may save a few dollars today.
Yep.
That is.
I've got a shot.
We have 2 more races. Yeah.
So it looks like 4 wins the race. Again, the rail's at 66 feet. We've already seen the 2 horse go gate to wire. But it does look like the 3 horse, the 3's all speed, but so's the 6. My God, like these 2 horses are going to go flying. They're not in the top 2 EquinEdge picks. They've got low win percentages. I definitely think I see them stopping. What about Miss Holly? Because this one's going to sit on the inside and can rate. I really like this horse actually in this race.
Yeah, Scotty, I looked at this race and I had a blank stare for like 10 minutes. This is a head scratcher, man. I'm all over the place. So when I see a head scratcher like this, normally I'm trying to look for a price. But I just couldn't come up with anybody. And I will tell you this race has a chance to have some just crazed long shot pop up because it's just such a bad race. And I think I may have found that crazy long shot. But when you look at it, I tried to make a case for Oro, who's dropping from a 25 claimer to a 16. But it was 52 to 1 last time out. I mean, you've got horses here with speed. Plankton, who makes sense, but is going to be pressed by the 3, right? I just think this is just such a wide open race. Bellwether to me makes the most sense if you want to just move on, because I think that's a likely horse to hit the board. But again, has burned money the last 2 times out as a favorite. Darling Debbie, if she gets a trip, is a live horse. But I think the horse I'm going to try to make, at least to get a second, here, and I know it seems a little crazed, but why not? Is the 9 Just Mercy? I mean, this horse does drop from a 25 claimer from a turf race where it didn't lift a hoof at 82 to 1. I know, down to a 16. But if you go back, this horse at the 16 level, not only was it to a lifetime, was competitive at Tampa, right? So I just want in a race like this, you may consider it one throwaway bet, and I'll take one of those a contest. But I've seen races that like this just pop a crazy, a horse is a crazy horse. So I would use on one ticket the 8 and on the other ticket the 9. So it's 8-9 for me. With if you get the 9, you're probably a couple other horses, you're probably in good shape. So, but I couldn't come up with much here. So 8-9 for me.
Let's see here. All right. So, okay, let's look at Bellwether real quickly. So this horse is, it was 44% last time out and lost. It was 61% the time before that and lost.
Yes.
It waited here. It seemed to have some issues the last couple of races. I want to forgive those for some reason. I just feel like maybe the horse had some issues, and it is facing easier. When it faced a 40 group, it won. It's a 44 group. Those two groups, I think the horse can run a better race. This horse certainly looks pretty good as well. The thing I worry about with like a horse like this, I don't like when you've had so many races at this level and then losing badly, although this is an easier group. Whereas you don't necessarily see that with the one horse. Look, it broke its maiden, and then it's been running against winners fairly good. Now it goes up in win percentage, and it's facing easier. I definitely think the one horse is the horse to beat, and I'm going to try to beat the 8. So I'm going with the 1.
Right. And the other thing, again, lively Contender. I think that horse, again, I don't love the rail usually at going 2 turns here. But if you go back to Just Mercy, I know it sounds like a crazy long shot, but this horse may be off form, maybe not the same horse it was at Tampa. But if you go back to the March 2nd race, the 16,000 claimer, this horse ran a nice rate, 1 1/8 miles, a nice second at 16 to 1. So, I mean, this horse, if it can run back to that race, she could be competitive here. But again, with the last 2 races, this horse may be totally off form. But I figure it's a good, the contest, it's worth giving a shot to at least.
Well, it was jostled. It was jostled though on the race back on the synthetic, so you can throw that out. And then the last race, it was facing too tough a competition. You got a decent long shot here, actually. It's just a 0% trainer. I got to play against a trainer like that. I don't love the post. It doesn't have any speed. And we're talking about a rail being 66 feet out. I think we have to take look, that being said, then I'm taking the 1 horse who's going to end up checking back, doesn't have any speed. I mean, that's something as well. The 4 horse, that's the other reason why I don't love the 4 is, I mean, the rail's so far out and it's going to be tough. Maybe you got to take a horse that has some sort of speed. Let's see here. If you go to the 3rd call, look how far back the 1 and the 4 are. But at the stretch, they're right there. But what about the 6 horse Plankton? Nah, because the 3 and the 6 are just going to duel. They're going to duel themselves in the submission.
Yeah, it looks like a likely duel, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
And then the 2 horse Musical Journey, it just doesn't look like a winner. And it also looks like it kind of needs a lead. So I'm just going to start eliminating horses. Then we look at the 5 horse. So, this race is just going to stop up front, and they're going to be closing. No matter what, even though the rail's out, they're going to start closing. I mean, this is the race here, 1, 4, 5, 8, and 9. I mean, I think any one of these horses can win. Make a case for me for the 5. Well, first of all, let's make sure that Gulfstream Park race number 3, we don't miss that. Hold on here. All right. So they are about to load into the gate. So let's.
Oh, Gulfstream is
Yeah,
going.
I'm going to pull back up the portal. Okay, loading into the gate. I have the 6 horse, and you have the 6 horse English Painter, who's actually getting bet. All right.
Is there weather down by you?
The weather, it's a little bit cloudy, but they look like white clouds. It's actually beautiful.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I was wondering, it looks kind of overcast there. I was wondering if there was some rain.
And they're off. Good start from the inside for Mumza, who heads off for the early lead with Guchko Bra, who's going to run right with him. Up on the outside, it's Coach Abernathy. In between horses, English Painter. Down at the rail goes Honesto. He's a bit keen today. Third last is he. Second last is Ensign Skip. The early trailer, the late running Euphoria Star. They make their way around the turn with jockey Jonathan Acasio and Mumza on top of length and a quarter. Up to the outside, it's Coach Abernathy second from a tucked-in Honesto in third. Back to fourth and a bit headstrong is Guchko Bra with English Painter out 3 wide. So the favorites are third, fourth, and fifth, and they're only a neck apart. A length and a half better than Ensign Skip, and the trailer is Euphoria Star. 25-2 for the opening quarter. The rail is open, and Morelos will oblige and send Honesto through to take the lead. So to the half-mile point, Honesto. He has the lead. He's trying to relax now that he's in front. From Mumza, who's in a 2-path position in second. Guchko Bra's moved up to take third from English Painter, who's fourth and asked to keep pace. Dropping back is Coach Abernathy, then Ensign Skip and Euphoria Star. They leave the backstretch and move on to the 4 turn. Here's another move from Mumza to have a crack at Honesto. These two sprint past the 5/16. They've opened 4 on Guchko Bra and English Painter. The others are just too far back as they run to the top of the stretch. It's Mumza making a bold bid to take the lead again. Under pressure to fight back is Honesto. 3 back to Guchko Bra, then back to English Painter, and they're at the top of the stretch. 3 quarters, 1:13-4. Outside, Mumza. Inside, Honesto. They continue to
Like a 2-speed number.
An eighth of a mile to go. And
Yeah, we talked about the 1 horses.
Absolutely.
Trying hard, but he's not getting any
and
Mumza has
went with the 6 horse, and that was
Mumza in front. Honesto second.
1, 2, 3, 6 in some order, but you get the better price, right? So we thought the 1 was a contender. It was just a tough race for me.
It was.
I figured I'd just go again.
Probably should have gone with the price. When you like 2 horses and so that really is a mistake. But we did talk about that 1 horse, and the 1 wins that race over the 2.
And that's the difficulty, Scotty. Right? Was playing the pick and praise. So we're in Vegas, sitting at the same table watching this race. We know we both would have used the 1, right?
For sure.
If we like all those, right? If we like the 1 or the 6, it's a no-brainer, right?
No brainer.
If it's an option, especially if it's an optional, and you're going to use this as an optional.
Yeah, the execution was just unfortunately off there. All right. Okay, let's get back to it. We've got we're on Gulfstream Park, race number 9. Okay, race number 9. And you had the 8 and 9, and I'm going with the 1. All right, so we're good there. Okay, we have 2 more races. We've got Saratoga, race number 8. And there's a horse that I own 5% of that's running in that race, and called Macanja. And she is got big time speed in this race. Let's run the race. $400,000 Saratoga Oaks Invitational Stakes, and two big time horses that were in the race were scratched, which is great. And Cinderella's Dream is probably the horse to beat. 3 to 5 on the EE morning line. But Macanja's going to take them a long way.
Yes, yeah. When I looked at, as soon as I saw we talked this morning, and I saw the 2 scratches, and like, wow, the 4 now does become the lone speed. So I originally had the 1 when I handicapped last night, the 1-4 as my 2 horses. But now with those scratches, I had the 1 on top, and I put a note that if I'm playing the pick 5 or pick 6, that 1 is a likely single. I've changed my opinion now, and of course, now since Scotty owns part of the horse, how can I go against the 4? I mean, this guy has me on a show. It's given me opportunities to do my prattle, and gives me kind of free reign. So I got to go with you, Scotty. I'm going with the 4 over the 1 here, McKeever. And I actually loved this horse back in the Wild Applause, and I was kind of surprised that JR went out so fast. I thought it was just like, wow, 23:46, and got caught.
Well, that was the other. Remember, that was the other Chad Brown horse. So he had a rabbit in there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes.
They knew they could not beat her. McKeever was. I was salivating at 5-2 odds, and Johnny didn't adjust, unfortunately. But that horse went to the outside. I mean, they did what they felt like they had to do. I mean, their horse had no chance, and they sent that horse. I mean, that McKeever they were sprinting, and McKeever was just kind of cantering, but unfortunately it was on the outside, and that was just too fast. And now there is none of those. There is nobody here that can go as fast as McKeever. So 9.5 for, I mean, it's a grade 2 race, $400,000. I mean, this would be amazing. I picked her out at the sale, at the Timonium sale, and it was the first horse I ever bought using the GSRs. And so it's obviously a big day. And I wish John all the luck in the world in this race. So it'd be fantastic. And it'd be huge for the GSRs too. So we're obviously rooting for the 4-horse McKeever. But I don't know about the 9.5. She's still, the GSR is still fair. It's still second best of the rest of them. Cinderella's Dream looks like the horse to beat. And she's won 5 of 6 races. I mean, she's nice. There's no doubt about it. But I've been saying too, that grade 1 race over at Belmont, that was only a 74 SOR. Today's a 70, and she got up there, and she was 7 wide. I mean, she's nice. Don't get me wrong. We've got to beat her. But McKeever's going to have an easy lead, and McKeever's a very, very nice horse. So they're going to have their hands full trying to catch her.
Right, and the thing is with Cinderella's Dream, you're right. That race on July 6th, that was a relatively modest field, to say the least. So and the mile and 3/16. I mean, the 4 should be just plugging real nice and galloping on that lead, right? I mean, what are you going to get, like 26 and 52 possibly, or 25, at least 25 and change, right? 50 something. So we'll see.
If she relaxes, if she just relaxes, and she's getting better at relaxing. Every race she's getting more and more. If she relaxes early, she is so talented. Dutchrow thinks she's a grade 1 filly. So I mean, she has the 1 to beat, and the 1 has, the 1 doesn't have a lot of speed, and the 1 might have to try to stay closer to McKeever than she might otherwise want to be. We'll see what happens.
Probably not her style, right? The thing is,
not her style.
Can she relax? Because off that last race, she was pumped in that 1 mile race.
Right. Exactly. So this is a huge day for us. So we're, so excited to see her run. So I'm clearly going with the 8. All right, last race we got here. And we'll handicap this one, and then we'll stay to just listen to race number 3 at Saratoga, and then we'll call it. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, it's an early day.
An early day, thanks to Monmouth scratching.
Yeah, thanks to the scratches. I mean, I feel bad for Monmouth, but I'm not hating that. Okay, 7 horse is going to have a clear lead. 10-1 on the EquinEdge morning line. Only 6% to win. The win percentages are pretty wide open, and there's a couple of 3-1 EE morning lines. One of them's on the EquinEdge long shot, so we'll take a look at that. But the 7 seems to be backing up, even with an easy lead. And there goes the 2. When I don't like the win percentage on the 2, but they're all wide open. But I do like the 3-1 EE morning line. I like that it's the EquinEdge long shot, and it also wins the race on the race simulator. Certainly, look, it's been on the inner turf at Saratoga and won the race against a 64 group, then faced a 70 group in the non-gridded stakes race over at Indiana, and then look, beat 10 other horses. I mean, kind of surprised this horse isn't higher on the win percentages. And look who jumps aboard. Is that correct? It's 113 pounds. Could that be right?
Which 113? Yes. Let me look at the conditions. I don't see the conditions. Just Hall of Fame Grade 2. Wow. Yeah, there's got to be a reason. Yep, she's a Phil. Oh, okay, there you go. She gets the weight allowance, Scotty, because she's a filly against. Yeah, that's what it is. She's a filly.
Well, 113 pounds with Irad.
Yeah,
they're really, nobody really that great. So what we should just take a look real quickly and see what these horses have done. So this one got third against 13 other horses in a grade 2, to be fair, and earned $370,000 in 9 races, which is just tremendous. But just looks okay. Doesn't look like somebody that's going to be dominant. This one has a couple of grade 3 wins. That's worth something. Non-graded stakes, a very nice horse. Look at that, 490,000 earned. But as this one, the one horse doesn't look all that great. I think the 2 horse fits in here.
Yeah, I'm off her because of she's a filly. She is getting weight. It's 1 for 1 over this course, and there's nothing wrong with that June 8th race. That's a good race, and again, there's an advantage to having a win over the turf course, right? Even though she is a filly, that was a good race on mile 134 and change. So this horse, I think the speed, her numbers would probably match up against the 4 and the 5. The 8, it also has a win over the course back on June 7th. And so the 8's a logical horse. The 2's a logical horse. The 4, based on the win in the Manila. So this is a wide open race. So I was looking at Cherry DeVoe's horse has got a shot, the 3. So the Hall of Fame is usually a good race. But the horse I'm going to try to make here is a little bit of a price. And I'm going to excuse this horse's last 2 races. Actually, the last race on a soft turf course is good. I was going to excuse it, but I think that's the horse's best race. I just think it's the 6, Crystal Quest. Again, it may be a loyalty issue with me. I have to be honest with you, because I had this horse on January 28th. That was the day after the Pegasus. And I'm like, first time on the turf, I'm going to try this horse at 18 to 1. It's not taking any money. Had won, then came back and won on a synthetic. Went to Tampa in the small stakes and won at a mile and a 16th. And shipped up to Pimlico on Preakness Day on a soft course and ran a decent race.
Yeah.
It's just the only really questionable race was in Monmouth, but that was a mile and a 16th. I'm thinking this horse may prefer a mile. And look at it this way. That horse lost to Carson's Run, who had won that horse won a Breeders' Cup race last year, Carson's Run. So facing some good company, comes out of stakes races. So looking for the price, I'm on the 6 Crystal Quest. And I back it up probably with the 868 for me.
All right.
Army officer. I'm sorry, Scotty. Bill. Yeah, Army officer. I noticed that has a big GSR.
All right. Well, I'm on Buttercream Babe. I think Buttercream Babe can fits in here and can run a good race. Seems to be in very good form. I think this horse is in amazing form since the layoff, and can see he went on the under turf at this and won here at the same surface and distance against a little bit easier. And but I think this horse seems to be going in the right direction. So I think if Mike believes that she belongs in here, then I think she does too. But you're right. On paper, this looks like a wide open race, but I'm going to go with the 2.
Right, and I see your point. That 2, I mean, that race is just as good, if not slightly better, than the Army officers race over the track, right? And they were 1 day apart, so those turf courses were about the same. So, she's a sleeper at the filly and getting in the light. Yeah.
And Army Officer does go up to 26% from a 19%. So it's heading in the right direction with everything, no doubt about it. I just don't, look at it's faced 22 horses in the last 2 races, and look how it's run. It's barely lost one, and it broke 10th. Like it's the 8 horse. This is a really wide open race. I could change my mind, but my gut is that the 2 horse can run a good race in here. All right, Saratoga race number 3, and doesn't look like I'll have to pay for my, because a lot of people have the 3 horse, so I think I'm going to have to buy.
You're going to have to reach in pocket.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have
I have the 1. I thought I'd get a better price, to be honest with you, than 8-5, but it is what it is.
All right, and I like the 3 horse. And the 1 is the favorite, and the 3 horse is actually the second favorite. At 2-1, it's your second choice. So, all right, so we'll turn it up. All right, they're circling around the gate right now. Let's rerun this race. Usually we're finishing around 3:30. We went quick. We went quick here.
Oh, yeah, we had, again, 3 less races to yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So Harlow Cap, which is a horse to watch, 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. And but this one's just burned too much money for my liking. I couldn't go with the 2. It has 2 wins and 12 tries. But this one, look at this one's burned money too, to be fair. It looks like that. Perform. I wouldn't call this one a money burner because it's never really been meant. And it's 14% today. It ran a good race last time out. It's the big favorite at 8-5. I think your 1 horse makes a lot of sense, David.
Yeah, you know me though. 8-5 is usually not my cup of tea, but I'm locked in, so it is what it is. I've got a win bet that I locked in a while back, a couple of hours ago. So,
all right, there goes your 3 horse, Costa Terra. And longest shot on the board at 16-1 goes into the gate. These are 3 and up. They're going a mile and 1/8 for $115,000 purse. 6 horse didn't look all that great at 72 right now. Power Seeker, and does draw that outside. Not a great place to be. He's going to send them.
One's in a tricky spot. It wasn't studied though, but got to be careful with the 6 going wire to wire.
I absolutely despise the ride, whoever the jockey on the 3 is. I mean, he was fighting for position, then gave it up, and then grabbed the horse to go to last. I mean,
that's Irad.
Terrible ride.
Pretty slow, 49. They're crawling.
You've been getting a great trip on the rail, honestly.
Yeah, hopefully you can get loose. Dylan's got to get some room there. He might be pinned on that rail. He's got nowhere to go, Scotty.
He's sitting. He's just waiting.
Going up the rail. Is he going to get through? He doesn't want to go up. He's reluctant. Come on with this one. Get him moving. No, he's not going to get there. The wire job.
Yeah.
And he's not even going to hit the board. Terrible pick. Yep. They were crawling. So that they let the 6 steal this race is just mind-boggling to me.
Well, let's yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of speed in this race, and the jockey won the race at the very beginning, was super aggressive, Lascano from the outside, and that was the winning move. And yeah, that was just the winning move. It was good.
Right. And, you know, like, to me, you would think that Dylan would have had this horse a little closer to the, you know, challenging this 6, but he decided to take back a bit. But it makes sense when you go those fractions in a $62,000 allowance race. You're going to have things on your own. You're going to dictate your terms, right? That's a good price. Of course, now the 4th largest. You got the longer price horses of the contenders. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Well, good luck in the qualifier. You're playing.
Yes, good luck, everybody.
Yep, and good luck the rest of the way. The stretch run's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if there's any openings, but Chris's coaching class, that's tonight. You might want to join that. They've got some bourbon, and they have a really good time in that class. So
the bourbon, okay. They got a little bourbon. Do they share it with the rest of the with the listeners?
They do. Yeah, they're all bringing it. Mike's bringing it. They're all bringing it. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you have any big plans this weekend?
Well, I don't have any big plans, but I will be on the stretch run tomorrow from 1:30 till 6-ish. I will be joining at 3:30 to 6 and Beyond for the Whitney, one of my favorite races, and I have a live long shot in there, I think.
Okay.
No 8 to 5 who doesn't hit the board. You know, that's not my speed anyway. So, and it's a good card. We got. So I'll be on tomorrow. So tune in during the whole day tomorrow if you can, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow on the Stretch Run Show. We'll see you later.
Thanks, everybody.